Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fueled by Progress, hosted by me, Mark Joseph Szymanski. Today we have with us Brendan Milowicki. I got that right?
Yep.
Nice. Sweet, man. It's a pleasure to meet you, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
I've been jacked to come on, man.
Dope,
honestly.
dude. So I think we should probably start a little bit with the context because we've talked a little bit through Instagram DM. I've talked to a lot of your kind of friend group from high school and from college and everything like that. A lot of the other guests that we've had on the show. So Charles, Alex, Christian, Jesse. That's kind of how we came into contact. But this is the first time, seeing in person. So again, pleasure to meet you, man. And do you want to kind of just start with like a little bit of your background and stuff?
Yeah. So I grew up in McMurray, Pennsylvania. It's a town in Washington County. Then I went to Peters, went to grade school, middle school, and then went to that high school for my first 2 years. And I didn't really fit in there, didn't like it. Just the vibe there was not good for me and just wasn't the right situation. And then, my parents found out about Canavan through some kids that I had played, because I played hockey for most of my, up until senior year. And so we found out about Canavan through some kids that I had played hockey with through their parents, like way back in the day. Yeah. So it was just kind of crazy how that all came about, because we hadn't seen each other since we were little. Right. And so it was just kind of weird to like see each other like when we're older.
It's weird how that happens. Yeah. Just as your life goes on. Yeah.
And originally, man, like I was afraid to jump ship because it's like change, I'd be the new guy and not a lot of people know me. But it definitely worked out for the better. So then I met Alex. I knew Jesse, but like I didn't know him. I didn't really talk to him in high school. Yeah. Just kind of different groups and different interests and stuff. Yeah. And then, graduated from Canavan. And that definitely had its challenges as well. No situation is perfect, obviously. But and then I went to, got into Slippery Rock. Been going there since my senior year, and here I am now. So
nice. Yeah. Good shit. So like, maybe we try to unpack some of that. So like, I know that you're doing some things now, and we can kind of start wherever. I know we have a lot of topics that we've kind of like mutually kind of discussed, and you brought them to the table, but they're literally right online with what the show kind of encapsulates in a lot of ways, and a lot of things that I've been kind of going through with myself. So the first question, just to get it, is you are 21. Okay, so I'm 24, so there's a little bit. I think that's important a lot of times, because I'm starting to really notice everyone that I talk to, mostly kind of around that age so far, like between, like I guess 20 and like 26-ish. Everybody is like within a small age range, but everybody has like ridiculous amounts of like experience differential, if that makes sense. Like you learn so much between 20 and 26 that it's like I'm starting to notice it's like, well, okay, well, I have to like, it's just interesting to hear the stories, and interesting, it's going to be interesting to obviously hear like your story so far and like everything that you've been through and like your thoughts and perspectives on things. So I'm super excited. So, I mean, we can really take it anywhere, because I know there's a lot of things we want to talk about. Do you want to talk about fitness first? Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we can go there.
Okay. So yeah. So I mean, so I'm sure it's a lot. So you were an athlete though, right? You started as playing hockey for a bunch of years.
Yeah, I started playing when I was 6.
Okay. Yeah. So ice.
Yeah, ice.
Gotcha. Okay. So I've never
street hockey too, for fun.
Yeah, I've never played ice, but I've played ball my entire life. It's crazy to see the growth of that sport and everything like that. But ice is like, I mean, it's pretty big in Western PA.
Oh yeah, it's competitive.
Yeah. So how was that? Like, were you like on track to continue? Like, when did you stop at the end of high school?
Yeah. So I was never like a player that was like the star player,
Gotcha.
The best player. I didn't like. I obviously didn't even get into working out until I was done with hockey, and that could have definitely benefited me and like be getting better, because like you get to a certain age where like kids get bigger, and like you got to be able to like play with the big boys, and like I was always a scrawny kid all through just pretty much my whole life, and like losing my train of thought.
Yeah, that's all good.
So I kind of realized in high school, like, like I'm probably done after this. I did the whole, a lot of kids, they'll play like 2 teams. So they'll do like amateurs, which is like, have you ever heard of that? It's like Predators. Like,
I've definitely heard of
stuff
Predators.
Like that. Foxes, teams like that.
Yep.
In high school. And I did that for 1 year. And bro, it was just just too much.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like
bet.
I
I'm
didn't
sure
have
it's expensive too.
Yeah, I didn't have a social life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
practice, like this practice, that
yeah,
game, like games on weekends, games like in high school games are always during the week. So it was just like
yeah,
it was just filled with hockey.
yeah,
It just kind of came to a point where like it just became draining,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And then I only did that 1 year. That was my freshman year, and then yeah, I had a good year that year. And then like my sophomore year, and that was my last year at Peters. After
Mhm,
my sophomore year, like I just wasn't really getting like the playing time that I
mhm,
thought I could have got.
mhm.
And I wasn't really getting the the coaching that I thought I needed to get better.
Yeah,
And yeah, I just really started to like just I was miserable,
yeah.
just not happy with it. And then that kind of led to the transfer as well to Canavan.
Mhm,
And I originally wasn't going to play.
mhm.
And then yeah, I had, like I said, those dudes that I met up with mutually, they convinced me to play. And it definitely was a better experience, but I wasn't like one of the star players. I was
Gotcha.
just a guy that was just on the team.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure it was an interesting, transition there. And like you said, I there's only, even if you love like hockey or anything like that, there's probably only so much of it that you could have done that was, until it got like to the point where it's like diminishing returns and just like, yeah, there's too much of that. So, I mean, I admire that sense of self-awareness that you had there to kind of just
It's
decide
just like
that.
it's like with the parents and stuff and the politics of everything. It's just like they suck the fun out of it. I feel
Yeah,
like
for sure.
it's like this really isn't that serious.
Yeah.
Like I understand like there are kids that like do want to go like take it to the next level,
Mhm.
which is cool. But like I don't know. I think that you gotta like I feel like
Yeah.
you gotta tone it down a little
Yeah,
bit.
well, I
Relax.
mean, there's just a lot of at that level. There's a lot of different like levels of players, or just like everybody's priority is different. Like you just said, like some kids are trying to play to have fun and have just enjoy the time, and then these other players are like, well, I'm trying to go pro, like that type of thing. So
And it
it's
just got to the point too, man. Again, like I said, like is like through my last years of high school too. Like I couldn't really work,
Mhm.
like make money.
Yeah,
And like I'm just thinking like like this is just taking up so much time, and it's like I'm obviously not going to go pro,
right.
and I'm probably definitely not going to play after this. Like,
Mhm.
what am I doing here?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I feel you.
So
So
and academics too. Like it
yeah,
just,
I bet you.
I didn't have time to do homework.
Yeah. That's a extremely tough part of any sport, like any student athlete in like high school. Because I mean, I played baseball, and that wasn't that, from what I remember, like that demanding. But it's still like you're in high school. I mean, like you're trying to do homework, and like I think a lot of people in high school, some people obviously struggle, but a lot of people like can kind of even like coast by and do like okay.
Yeah.
And it's just like a weird thing when you start to add so much of that, whether it's a sport or anything. So yeah, I totally understand that. So you're saying though that obviously athletics and stuff was a big part of your life, specifically ice hockey, but now you're doing something different, and that's like a recent journey that you've started. So, I mean, to let the cat out of the bag, I'll let you
Okay.
I'll let you go into detail on it. But basically, Instagram, like a fitness page profile and everything like that. From what I've seen so far, talk me through how you got to that point of wanting to do that, where your inspiration for like fitness and just like all that began. I mean, you touched on a little bit with the hockey, but kind of walk me through that story.
This will be a long story.
Go ahead.
But so like I had mentioned, like I was, and I still struggle with it to this day. I've always had like just insecurities about my body.
Yeah.
And I think like one thing that like it's obviously I think it is more prevalent among women, but like men definitely struggle with it too.
For sure. Yeah.
And like I
probably
think
they probably just hide it a little bit better or
it's
something.
definitely not talked about.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
like, it's definitely a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always just a scrawny kid, like even in like my friend groups, like growing up through elementary school, grade school, like they'd make comments about it, make fun of me, but like it was definitely all in good fun. There were some kids that were like complete assholes and try to push me around and shit.
Yeah, they're probably more insecure than the person they're picking on, though.
Yeah.
That's generally how that works. Yeah.
But like again, I'm not here to bash anybody.
Yeah,
but,
it's all good.
So that and then just like going through high school and then like seeing like how like kids hit that puberty. Like I guess you call it like a late bloomer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't really hit like that growth spurt, I guess.
Yeah.
I got taller, but like I didn't get like my muscles didn't really grow or anything like that. And like and then just like having hockey with that too, and like feeling like insecure about my body, and like seeing all these kids that are bigger than me, it definitely affected my confidence when I would play.
Yeah.
And I definitely played a little bit like scared, like I'd be afraid to like, you know, get hit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that,
Mhm.
because anytime I got hit, I got fucked up.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I got fucked. But
Yeah.
so I get to college, and um and in high school too, like I was not like making some of the best choices.
Mhm.
You know, I was smoking weed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just partying a lot, like just not really. I definitely still have done that a little bit in college,
Yeah.
but not to the level I don't think I did in high school. Maybe
Mhm.
my freshman year a little bit,
Yeah.
but so yeah, and then my freshman year I go into a gym. I have no idea what I'm doing. You
Mhm.
know, I don't even know like how to, what sets to do, how to
Yeah.
hit the muscle, whatever. And yeah, I remember like, and what's crazy too is like my dad is he was not anymore. He was a like a physical therapist slash
Mhm.
trainer.
Yeah.
And like I wish I would have went to him more for like advice on working out,
Yeah.
because I think like he definitely always tried to encourage me to do it,
Mhm.
but I think like him trying to like make me do it like
Yeah.
made me not
That's a
want to do
weird.
it.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
weird thing with
it like
parents.
made me not motivated to do it, because I'm just like like I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to do
I
that.
feel you. Yeah.
Um. Plus, like he was just saying, yeah, if you want to get better, you want to do this, and it's just like, like I think you talked about it too, like with your parents, like just the
Oh
same
yeah. No, yeah, that's
thing. It's
exactly.
just
It
like,
wasn't specifically with like training by any
yeah,
means in my house, but it was. But no, it's exactly.
but
That's exactly what I thought.
it
Yeah.
got to a point where he didn't push it on me anymore, and I remember like I was working out, like my dad was like showing me how to bench, and I could barely like do the bar, dude.
Yeah.
It was just like
Yeah.
crazy, and so I meet these people, this group of people on my floor freshman year. They're two big like football players,
Mhm.
jacked,
Yeah.
and they take me into I become friends with them, and they ask me if I want to go work out with them one day.
Mhm.
I'm like, sure. I have no idea what I'm doing,
Mhm.
And dude, I struggled, man.
Yeah.
Like I could not do. I was struggling with the form. I just could not do a lot of weight like they were doing. I was just getting insecure about that.
Yeah.
Because they were doing this like heavy ass
Mhm.
weight,
Yeah. Yeah.
pushing it like
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. And I just remember feeling embarrassed, dude.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like too like after that I'm like, you know what, like I don't think I want to work out, like at least like for most of the time I don't want to work out with like somebody.
Yeah.
I want to work out alone, try to figure this out
Mhm.
on my own and just get better.
Yep.
And not to like and like they were, dude, they're nice guys, like but they just like they played football, and I think they had that like that mentality of like, like
Yeah.
go hard all the time,
Yeah.
like, and I think they were trying to instill that mentality in me.
Mhm.
And like I just think that mentality, not everybody has that or needs to have that, I
Mhm.
guess,
Yeah.
to like get big or whatever,
Right.
improve. So I get this one I purchased one of these fitness programs, and it just takes you through like all the different lifts that you can do for your muscles. And it was like this 90-day transformation thing. And
Mhm.
looking back on it,
Mhm.
I actually regret buying the programs because a lot of it was just kind of bullshit.
Yeah. They normally get you with that. I had a funny story in the last episode.
Yeah.
I was talking about. Yeah, it's not good, but no, I mean, it's interesting though that you say that, because you got to start somewhere. Like
For
you
sure.
gotta like understand. I think it was probably a good learning experience. Maybe you regret spending the money on it, but like, did it teach you something at least?
Yeah, it taught me like how to do the lifts.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
he explained,
yeah.
like the guy explained how to do the lifts, but like he was trying to sell all these like products and like
Yeah.
explain how you can like burn fat without doing cardio and all
Yeah,
this shit.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, and bro, like I didn't know, like
Yeah.
I didn't really know anything at the time, so I'm like kind of believing this dude.
Mm-hmm.
But then like obviously experience and stuff, you start to learn. Like I really learned, like, yeah, that guy was full of shit.
Yeah.
And he's got this like big following. A bunch of people purchase his programs, and I'm like, the lifting was good. Like the exercises were good. I just think that like he's trying to sell this approach of like get fit quick.
Yeah,
when it's not. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it just like it's definitely not good to like do that to people, because then they start believing it, and then they think, oh yeah, I take this pill and I'm gonna burn all this fat like, in a week.
Magic pill.
Yeah. These like fat burners or whatever. And so, but bro, honestly, I gotta give credit to those two guys, because without them, I probably would have never stuck with it or stepped foot in a gym. Like honestly, so shout out to them. But yeah, so I start doing the program. I go through it. The exercises just get real, like, it got real repetitive though. You know, it was like this. It was like making you do the same exercise for like 6 weeks at a time, and I'm like, all right, like I want to like switch this up, you know. And so, yeah, I stopped that program because I'm just like this. I'm like burning out at this point. You know, I started getting like I don't know if you heard like beginner gains. You know, like you start doing something real quick, and it's like you start doing something, and then it's like, yeah, you'll see results quickly.
Yeah.
At first, but then it's like you go into the plateaus.
Absolutely, yeah.
Bro, those are the worst.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So, and then, yeah, so then I buy this other program. I get this other program because they talk about intermittent fasting, and it was really interesting to me. And he was like, this particular program had you only lifting 3 days a week, and you and that was it. And then it was like you just focus on like fasting and all that. And I kind of felt like when I bought it, I'm like, this seems like too good to be true. You know, like only work out 3 days a week and like eat 2 meals a day. And like he was like saying that like you can like pretty much get away with more if you fast or whatever. Like get away with like eating more of like shittier foods, I guess.
Yep.
And I did. I tried it for a few weeks, and like again, like, and I actually wish I probably should have stuck with it, but like I did find that like if I was like losing energy because I was just like going like through long periods without eating and stuff. So, and then like I just like, all right, like I gotta really like stop with these programs, you know, like because like, and I think like programs can work for people, but like I want to go to the gym and like really like focus on the exercises that I want to do. And like focus on the rep ranges that I want to focus on, you know, and the exercises that are just best for me and my body. Cause I think like, you know, like I don't think like the, you know, for example, like the barbell shoulder press is ideal for somebody if they have a shitty shoulder, you know, and I have, you know, I have some shoulder pains from like playing hockey over the years and just stuff like that. And, so I start finding out that like, holy shit, I can get workouts on Instagram for free. So I start like finding all these workouts. I'm like finding all these pages. I'm like, holy shit, like my mind's getting blown. I'm like, it's like, you know, at a candy store. You know? So I start like, thank God Instagram has that like save thing where you can save the videos and stuff. So I start saving them. I start just coming up with like a different routine that I want to follow. And like, just like I started doing that my sophomore year.
Okay.
I started with the programs through freshman year. I stopped doing it like the beginning of my sophomore year of college, and then I really started figuring out about these just individual workouts that I could just be doing for free instead of paying boatloads of money for these programs. So I started doing that, and like, and I just try to just it was just help me stay consistent, honestly. Like knowing that like, I'm going in there and I'm doing the exercises that are best for me, best for my muscles. And it just kind of took off from there.
Gotcha. So that was, like you said, in your sophomore year. So you just start senior year?
Huh?
Did you just start senior year?
Oh,
like just now?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So so have you just continued that like all throughout
pretty
junior?
Much, yeah.
Okay.
And I've tried to make up some of my own workouts too, just because like now I'm like I've learned so much about what exercises are good for what body part.
Right.
What rep ranges you can do and all that stuff. So it's been,
How did you learn all that? Just from random people like on Instagram and YouTube and everything?
Through that, and like just through like talking to people too, like in the gym. Like I started getting more, I've started to get more comfortable in the gym, and like I've been able to make some friendships through the gym, which has been great. And just getting their perspective on it. Pretty much a combination of everything.
Gotcha. Does this have anything to do with like your actual degree or anything? Like, did you want it, or is this just a total side thing?
Total side thing.
Total side thing.
Yeah.
Okay. What is that, by the way?
My degree?
Yeah.
Psychology.
Psychology? Okay, gotcha.
And I've changed my major twice.
Okay, what were the other ones?
First one was communications, journalism, and then like I think my beginning of my freshman year, I realized I didn't want to do that because I hate writing because like it's not that I hate writing. I like writing when I don't have to do it, if that makes sense. If I can write about something that I'm interested in writing about,
for sure,
instead of like saying, hey, write this paper for this amount of points and have these amount of sources and all that.
Yeah,
bullshit.
college sucks. We'll
It
get
does
into
suck.
that. Yeah.
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 So, and then, yeah, so I switched to political science because kind of I don't know. I was really into like politics because of the like election, that 2016 election.
Yeah.
And I thought that'd be a cool little thing for me to do because I listened to some political podcasts and like, this is cool, you know, like what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
It's called Secular Talk. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've listened.
he's got a pretty big following, and yeah, I was really like kind of inspired by that. And then yeah, just like going through that, and I'm like, you know, not really happy here either. Like just because the classes just got real, and like I should have expected this, but like they got very political.
Yeah.
And like you had to like get involved in debates and stuff, and like I don't do, especially when it's people I don't know very well. Like I don't do very well in those situations.
Yeah,
you know?
it's not. I don't think it's.
I'm not comfortable.
I don't want to say it's unhealthy in my opinion, but it's just again more topics to kind of dive into. But just like the toxicity almost that it brings and like the division, I'm not a fan.
No, I'm not. Either.
I'm more of like a collaborative person, and I don't want to like just like shit on people because they have different ideas than me, even if I don't agree with them. And I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
I took a couple,
like, and that was like what was like kind of happening. Like you'd be sitting, and like the teacher was making you do it.
Yeah.
So it's like fuck. You know?
Yeah.
Like
it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, some kid, like not everybody, but there were certain people that would get very passionate about what they were talking about, and like kind of like get defensive, get mad, and it just makes it very awkward, and like and just the workload and all that stuff just wasn't very fun. And I switched this. So at the end of my sophomore year, I switched to psychology, and I wouldn't say I'm like 100% happy in that either. I'm not very happy going to college, period.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like, you know, because I am like a deep thinker and stuff. So I guess you could say that it definitely fits my personality or me as an individual the best, I'd say.
Yeah. And this is all at Slippery Rock.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's tough for me. Like I switched my major a couple times. It wasn't as drastic as that. It was more just like kind of like refining into more of like computer engineering, computer science, information science. So it's kind of like, you know, withering, you know, down like a funnel rather than kind of like trying to find more of that. But I do like when people go to college and they jump into whatever they think and then they just chill out, like they just do it even if they hate it. I have much more respect for somebody like you that's trying to figure out like and has the self-awareness to understand like I'm not really liking this. Let me try something else. Because
like, it's weird because like, you know, like you'll see family around the holidays and stuff, and they'd be asking me like, "Oh, what's your major?" And I'm like, "Psychology." And they're like, "Oh, what are you gonna do with that?" You know, or like, "Oh, like you gotta go to this level of education.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna be able to do anything with that." Like just everybody's always got to throw their fucking 2 cents into everything, and it's just like.
Yeah, it's tough. We are in a very interesting. I don't know if this has happened throughout the generations, but I maybe it's just because we're living in it. I just feel like we're in a very interesting spot where older people, like our parents' age, our relatives' age, they don't really understand the amount of shit that you can do nowadays to make a dollar. You know, it's like they had to have this very linear progression of go to school or maybe don't go to school or like find a trade and then just work that for 40 years. I don't know where I was in my life where I realized that was absolutely not at all what I wanted to do, but I think it was probably sometime while I was working and like just getting more and more miserable because like it was just 9 to 5 type thing. And it's interesting to talk to, again, people like yourself of your age on this show specifically, but, you know, outside of the show as well, because you haven't really had to experience that to the degree that you do once you're out. You know, like, so have you worked? Like what kind of jobs have you had so far?
I've had a lot.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of them have been in like the food industry. So let's give you a timeline. So first job I had was I was a dishwasher at a pizza shop. Quit that after like 6 months. Next job I had, I worked at a banquet hall. So like they did weddings and like events and stuff like that. And that was cool. But like first of all, like you didn't get a whole lot of shifts. You maybe get like 2 or 3 a month. Yeah. And dude, like the hours were just like crazy. Like you get there at like 3 or 4 and you're not done until like
like 3 or 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, those events, long prep time, long cleanup time, and stuff. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
And like, so yeah, I had to get out of that. At that, and then I was a food runner at like a sports bar, and that was cool for a period of time. But then that like got stale. I had to like move on to something else.
Yeah.
And then probably the worst job I ever had was I was a server by like the pool at a country club.
Yeah.
That was the worst fucking job I ever had.
Yeah. I could imagine. I don't.
People just treat you like shit.
The
like
clientele,
dirt.
and then that'd be
you
rough.
didn't make a whole, and a lot of them didn't really tip you, which is like, that really
that's counterintuitive.
Me.
Yeah,
that really like I don't know. That's a really big pet peeve of mine. Like even if the server's like shitty, if your experience was like shitty, I think like you should at least like give them something.
Yeah, I mean, it's I normally try.
It's a tough job. Man.
Yeah,
like,
I normally try
understand.
to tip 20%. If if everything's good, way better. If it's more, so like, but that is one of those things where people do not understand that, like, what it is like to be a server or to be in that restaurant industry unless they've been in it. I always thought, like, if people, it's just kind of like an extremist idea, but like if people went to college or went to high school rather, and then like instead of going straight to college, they had to have like 2 years in like, just my preference was like in like food service or like retail or something to that nature, where you have to physically deal with people like way more than you would have had to in like high school or anything like that. I think the world would be a better place because everybody would realize that everybody can be a pain in the ass.
Well, and you realize too, like you can really find out a lot about like a person by the way they treat like a server.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like you're a pretty shitty human, honestly. Like if you treat people like that.
Yeah. So that's tough, but
like, and especially like if the place is like busy.
Yeah,
it's obvious that's like out of their control.
Yeah,
you're bitching at them and getting mad.
Yeah. It's not fun. No. Yeah, I've dealt with that for a long time. I've worked at my grandma's restaurant for a long time, and it's like, there's some people that are wonderful, and there's some people that are just assholes for no reason. Yeah. But again, though, it's kind of like the bullying thing. It's like they're probably insecure, and they're just displacing that aggression onto you. So,
which is odd.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know if you follow like Gary Vee at all. But like he always says that, like, it's like if somebody gives him shit in the comments, it's all the same shit. Like if somebody gives you shit in the comments or gives you shit like at a restaurant or whatever, and you didn't do anything to them, like specifically, it's just because they're insecure. And then he kind of says, and I kind of agree with this, but it's difficult. You got to deploy some empathy. So it's like instead of like getting pissed off and just making the situation work, it's just like, okay, have a great day. You know what I'm saying?
The big thing of his is like kindness always wins.
Yeah.
And like
it's difficult, but
it's like it's not hard though. It's not hard to be nice to people, and I feel like that's really been lost, especially in the times we're in now. It's just like I don't know where that like it's just like just be nice.
Yeah. No, off the bat, no. Off the bat, it's easy. I'm saying it's difficult. Like if somebody gives you shit and then you have to like retaliate with kindness. Obviously, that can be difficult at times. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Positivity. Optimism is huge.
It's like
I could talk about that for days.
It feels like if you try to be positive now, it's like you just get shot down.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like sucks the life out of you.
Yeah, it's
so
really strange.
I don't know, man. I just shut up.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
Everything's so divisive, like, and just the tension with everything it's exhausting, man.
Yeah, it's really exhausting, especially in like I would say more current events, political. Obviously, it's election year, so that's difficult.
It's crazy. Side note: it's crazy that like. Out of all years for a pandemic to happen, it's on an election year.
Yeah.
And like a lot of conspiracy theorists will take that and run with it.
Yeah.
It's weird to think about though.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned this before we talked like live. Like I try not to talk about things that I don't understand or don't have a lot of knowledge in. But like at the same time, especially with like everything that's gone on this year and like those types of things, like
COVID,
it's fucking nuts. It's like,
it's affected everybody too. It's like you almost can't like not have an opinion.
Right. Yeah. And I have never felt in my life so unsure of like what I was actually seeing and like experiencing, if that makes sense. Like you see all this shit on TV and like, whether it's Fox or it's CNN or whatever. And I don't watch any of that shit because quite frankly, I just feel like I have better things that I could be doing.
Like this.
Yeah. Like I'd rather be talking about this stuff or making videos or like just like trying to better myself, right?
Just getting around people that like make you feel good.
Yeah. Because like I hate being miserable. So and the pessimism and all that sort of stuff. So and the divisiveness, like you said. So it's just really interesting to just even step into some of those conversations sometimes, whether it's like Fox or CNN or something like that, you walk past the TV and you hear, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why are people trying to actively make situations worse? You know?
Yeah, I just make people feel like more shit.
Yeah.
You know, like one thing that I am doing is I haven't looked at like, besides like sports and stuff, I haven't really looked at a single like political virus related article in like 2 months.
Yeah.
And honestly, dude, it feels fucking great.
Yeah.
Like just like a weight off my shoulders. For like a while, I was like, you know, constantly looking at like, oh, like the vaccine, like something on that, like what's happening with that.
Yeah.
Just got to a point like this is unhealthy. You know, like I gotta stop doing this.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, like you said, just all the pessimism, the doom and gloom, just like I can't look at it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's not good for anxiety, depression.
Yeah. And I mean, like
it ties into mental health.
Absolutely. And I don't know. It's just.
And I don't plan on looking at anything until all this shit's over, honestly.
Well, I was going to say, I was going to say too, like, not only probably have we all probably looked at it less, I'm sure there's less shit. Like, I mean, there's still obviously like articles, but I remember like I'll scroll through my phone and I have a Google Pixel, and like if you slide to the left, you see like the Google things, like articles related to like what you're searching or what you're like, you know, geared to you. And I don't see really too much about like coronavirus. Obviously there's still a pandemic and like we're still being affected by it, but you know,
it's probably getting overshadowed by the election.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just the effect, all of that shit aside, the effect that media, normally mainstream media, has on things is terrifying.
I mean, this might sound a little controversial, but I think it's poison for your brain.
I would tend to agree with that. Yeah, because
I have family members that just like they just
watch
the news all fucking day.
Yeah,
and I'm like, holy shit, like. How do you do that?
I don't know how people do that, truthfully.
And like people sit on Facebook and like just are ranting, and I'm like, obviously everybody can have an opinion. People can do whatever they want. I really don't give a shit what people do.
I don't. Yeah, I feel.
But I like, you know, like I do care about people's well-being.
Yeah.
And I do like I like to see people bettering themselves, and I feel like that's not bettering yourself.
Yeah.
Or, like improving.
I have learned, and I don't know if this is because of our age difference or whatever, but what I've started to learn is that I care about other people. Like I care about them, right? Absolutely. At the core, because I think if you don't, you're a fucking psychopath, right? Like just if you got to care, right? To some degree.
Especially the ones close to you.
Exactly. But what I've learned from relationships, what I've learned from friendships is that you can only control yourself, and you can't control anybody else. You can only control yourself, and you can't like care about somebody to a fault. And I always have to like elaborate on this because like if somebody like in that instance, right? If you have like a family member, somebody that's just watching the news and everything like that, like they think what they are doing is right, like because it might be right for
being
them.
responsible.
Yeah, like whatever, like, but like you fundamentally don't understand. You don't think that, right? Like you or I might think the opposite. So it's like it's really difficult to try to change somebody or to even like project what you think is right unto them.
It's like if you have an opinion that might deviate from like the mainstream or like the social norm, I guess I'm trying to say, you get ostracized. You're a fucking asshole. You're this. You're that. It's like, well, this is how I feel. Like, this is my opinion. You have an opinion. I respect yours. Like,
it's a minefield to navigate
and it's like
through.
Weird because I was talking about this with my parents. Like when they were kids, it was like it was almost like impolite to like talk about like politics or your views and stuff like in front of people.
Yeah.
It was like something that you just kept to yourself or in house, you know? And it's like now it's like you almost have to have like you have to pick a side.
Yeah.
You can't be in the middle.
I mean, I've never remember a time where like people ask you who you vote for. If you say Trump, they're going to fucking like literally ostracize you. Mm-hmm. It's strange. I mean, it's just strange. Like, I don't know why. I don't know how we've gotten to this point.
But on the other side too, if you say you're voting for Biden, like,
oh, it's both ways.
It's both ways, bro.
It's 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I don't. Here's like the main problem though in that regard is the fact that it's both ways, but also like 90% of people are kind of right in the middle. And like it's like it's like the 5% on the outsides are like you know what, like, oh, fuck this, fuck that, like really hard, and like both ways, like the extremist, and then you have the middle where it's just like we're just chilling, we're like, you know, guys, like we're not really
I'm
like
just trying to
super
get through the day.
yeah, it's like we're trying to just get like better ourselves, get through the day. Like we don't like really believe wholeheartedly one way or the other.
Yeah.
Why are we getting like just like flooded with all this
Well,
sort of information and shit?
It took until like all this stuff that happened to really for me to realize like all this stuff and kind of open my mind to like what's going on with like the media and just the parties and all that stuff. And just, what bothers me is that there's no like nobody's educating anybody on how to be a healthier person. You know, like talking about like, hey, you should exercise, eat better, get better sleep, stress less, you know, drink more water, like all that stuff. Like that's just been like lost, and I don't know, like it's just, you know, wear a mask and social, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'll do like, I just feel like it should be, you know, get healthier, do those things that I mentioned, and then wear a mask, and then social distance. All that stuff. That's my personal.
Yeah. No,
feeling on it, but
here's something that I do. So what I do is that makes a lot of sense when I hear an opinion like that, or mostly when I have an opinion. What I like to try to do is beat the opponent, adversary, not really, but like the person on the other side of the argument to the punch. Because what I think is vital is you have to understand a situation from all angles and then try to like, you know, attack it that way. So what I would say there is like, I really agree with what you just said. Like, I think that here's how I see the mask thing and everything like that and everything that's gone on is like, it's not really from everything that I can see, it's not attacking the root cause. And when you don't attack the root cause and you just treat a symptom, then you pretty much continue to get fucked because you're not attacking the root cause. Like if there's something wrong in your life, if the source of here's a perfect example. If the source of the reason that you're miserable is your job, your 9-to-5 job, and you treat that by going home and drinking alcohol, that is not going to fucking help you long term. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. It's like
been there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if people are like, it's okay. Like, I guess it's a good thing. And it's like kind of like all of a sudden. So it's like, oh yeah, wear the mask type thing. But like you said, there's so many holes in that it's just like really difficult. It's like, why Joe Rogan's talked about this a bunch. Why were people not being educated as well, like alongside of the masks and everything like that? Why weren't they being educated on how to be healthy? Yeah. Why weren't they educated on like how to de-stress, how to eat better, how to do this, that, and the other thing?
And I don't want to be a hypocrite. Like lately, dude, I have not been eating well at all.
Yeah.
Well, I've been like shit.
Yeah.
Because like, bro, like this, I've been in a rut, honestly, since this whole thing happened. Like I made the page, I was real pumped about it. And then the gym's closed. So I had to really like kind of figure out like what I'm going to do. And then I was able to grab some equipment, work out from home, but it's just still not the same, man. Like, I don't know. It's just not the same. And it's like hard to like, and this ties in with like the classes and stuff too, with, doing the whole Zoom shit. Like it's a fucking mess, you know? It's just hard to like get up and get motivated because like, you're just doing all this shit from your house.
Yeah.
You know, like for me, like, I don't know, like as much as I hate going to class, like I definitely miss like getting in my car and like driving to class. It's something that's so simple. Yeah. Like, cause I don't know, like something that's like in my control. Yeah. I have the choice to like go do that. And I think like, that's like what, like the underlying theme with all this stuff is like, nobody's really had a choice in anything. You know, like, it's just crazy.
Yeah. I think too, on that point, it's a little bit more of a separation from like your home time, like your time at home was one thing and you were doing stuff there. And then like your time at the gym was another thing. You were thinking about that there. Your time at school was another thing, but now it's like all in one place. And it's like really, it messes with you, I think, mentally, because it's just like a jumbled mess of like, oh, what do I do now? Oh, I have like a class that I have to watch on my computer. It's like, yeah, it's like, and then you can't find like the motivation or the time even to like go to the gym when it's really like in your bedroom or whatever, like that type
Yeah,
of
since
thing.
I brought up the Zoom thing, let's get into the college stuff.
Yeah, that's
So
a big topic. Yeah,
that
I'd love to hear your perspective.
So I've always like hated school, like
Yeah.
just hated it. Like ever since I was a little kid, I'm just like, I got diagnosed like with ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always a fidgety kid. I had a hard time like paying attention for long periods of time. But I feel like that's kind of bullshit because I feel like a lot of people have a hard time paying attention.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a cop-out
everybody gets distracted,
diagnosis.
like all that shit. But whatever. So, yeah, and then just going through college, like just again, it all kind of felt the same to me. Like you learn the information for a test, and then you take the test, the information flies out of your head. At least that's how it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's different for somebody else. They whatever, but yeah, and then especially once everything went online, dude, I really like kind of had a reality check, and like I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're wasting thousands and thousands of dollars to sit on a computer, and
it was already bad before.
It was already bad before. Yeah. Now it's worse. Yeah, we're just getting fucked. We're getting fucked.
Yeah.
We're getting scammed.
Yeah.
And like, it's weird because like I try to talk to my parents about it, and I'm like, look, like, because I really, really considered like not going back this semester, you know, but it was complicated. I had signed like a lease because I have a house up at school, and I'd signed a lease for that place before all this stuff happened, and then just kind of figuring out like how are you going to pay for that and all that shit. And it just kind of, I guess it kind of made sense for me to go back just to live in there. But yeah, man, like I try to talk to my parents about it, and they're like saying, yeah, you need to finish, like it's your senior year, all that stuff, we're paying for it. And I just felt like what doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me is like I would have kind of felt like they would have been in agreement with me not going back because they're the ones paying for it. Yeah, they're paying all the money. It's the money that's coming out of their pocket that's just going to waste, and like it's just weird. I don't know.
Couple questions that I want to clarify first. Would this definitely be your last year? Like even with like your change of majors and everything?
Yeah.
So like
I can graduate in the spring.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Just want to make sure. Yeah. So again, I think that the age difference, like, and again, just with the show, with the people that I've had on, I've learned a lot, and I think that is definitely something that I saw. I can't remember exactly how I felt in school, but I never really wanted to continue. As it went on, like I said, I funneled into something that I kind of liked a lot more, so it was a little bit better for me. But looking back on it, I paid for my schooling. I was helped a little bit, but I came out of school with $26,000 of federal loans, so I didn't have to go private, so it was a little bit better on the interest and stuff. But basically, almost $30,000 in money that I had to pay back, and I was able to pay that back within like the first year, just from like working and stuff like that, and money that I had saved. So I give that context because it didn't affect me extremely financially like it does a lot of other people, right? I mean, if you look at the landscape, you have some people that get their college paid for by their parents, which just extremely grateful, right?
I am grateful.
Which is fantastic. You have people that are able to pay their own and kind of like in a middle thing, and then you have people that are actually fucked 4 years in college debt, and that cripples people. Like when you sign that agreement when you're 18, like with a bank or something like that, or you just kind of step into that situation, like you have absolutely no idea what you're getting yourself into.
Well, that's like and that's what kind of really gets me angry about this online stuff. It's like it's not necessarily like me that's gonna get like I'm gonna have a little bit of debt coming out, but like it's the people that you just mentioned that are like really like taking all the loans out for their education, and then they're gonna come out and be fucked. But like, and yet they didn't really get the benefits that they were looking for. Like they didn't sign up for this online shit.
It's a tough one. I think it's overpriced. I think there's probably going to be a time where it hopefully resets, and like I don't know if there's going to be like a crash per se or like the bubble will pop, but I am happy that people our age are starting to at least think about it more. Meaning, like, I think 10, 15, 20 years ago, people just were going to college, like just going. Like,
I kind of just went
Yeah.
because my parents told me I should.
yeah, and
I didn't really want to go in the first place.
I don't know if I ever actively didn't want to go, but I would say that I also didn't actively want to go. You know, like I thought it was the right thing to do at the time or whatever. And I don't necessarily regret it because I learned some things and like,
Same here.
you know, but at the same time, did I learn X amount of dollars worth of information that I'm obviously kind of using to some degree here and there, but really like, you know, especially if you don't use your degree, it's like you literally
Which I don't think I will. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So
I definitely am not going to like other school. I'm not going to masters or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm done after this.
yeah,
I'm done.
I think the trouble that we are in as you know, kids our age and like, you know, young adults our age, is that we have grown up in such a time where there's been such a huge paradigm shift in the way that you can learn things. Like, you used to only be able to learn from like people that were certified in things, and while that's still like a good way to get information, there's like now there's way more outlets from you, like, you know, YouTube. I literally go to college on YouTube effectively now every single day. Like, if I need to learn something, especially the first like last 3 years of my life, like building businesses, you know, so setting up businesses, all sorts of finance knowledge, like everything like that, YouTube, free. Like it's like that's incredible. And
like the workouts on Instagram.
exactly. You know, so it's like I don't know why like I just hope that the next generation, and it's gonna happen because everything happens, like, you know, it filters down and starts to work. But the one thing that, you know, with the show and with everything that I do, and I think that's the same goes for you, is like I want to make sure that the next generation of people at least give more options when it comes to college. Like, don't just fucking force your kids to go there if they don't think that they should go there. If they don't want to be a doctor, if they don't want to be a lawyer, if they don't want to be something that requires like actual schooling, or if they just don't want to go, you know, like, it's give them an option. There's so many more options for you now. It's like,
I just feel like, honestly, man, like, to just be completely honest, like, dude, I wake up every day and I am kind of like just miserable. Like, I'm not happy to be at here, you know? Like, just, again, like, you know, everybody talks about that college experience.
Oh
like,
God, fuck! I remember that. That was the funniest.
whatever.
I can go into more of it, but go ahead.
It's gonna be the best 4 years of your life, you know? Like,
I love that.
Like, granted, I have had some good times, but I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like it's almost like you do have to kind of not be yourself to like fit into that crowd of the people that party and all that stuff.
I don't feel like anybody is generally themselves. Like, the people that are themselves are like authentic with each other. But truthfully, I've found that most people even in college, it starts to work itself out around that time. But like, a lot of people are still like immature. And I don't mean immature in the sense of like it's a bad thing. It's just you're fucking young. Like, it's like you don't know what you want. Like,
I'm definitely immature.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what you want. Like, you're still exploring. Like, you can't expect to fit in with this group of people that might be pretending that they are this type of people, because you're not actually that type of person.
And that's the problem too. Like, our generation has gotten so much pressure from like the older generation, like my parents, your parents. Like, we got so much pressure on us to like figure all this shit out.
Yeah.
You know,
like, to, like, don't need to figure it out right now.
To like know like what I want to do, and I'm 18 years old when I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna eat for breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like
that all that coupled with the financial shit that is extremely like, people are undereducated on. Like, they don't like, it's like that. Why is that never the conversation? Oh, you want to go to college? Like, right after that, you should be like, oh, do you want to be in debt 4 years from now? Like, I mean, it's almost certain, you know, whether it's your parents or whether it's like you paying for it or the government or like whatever it is. Like, it's like somebody's gonna there's some sort of financial responsibility that comes with this, and it's like you kind of have to try to think about that. I think it's going to get better over time just because of these types of conversations that we're having, hopefully, right? Like, you and I and like our generation of people, hopefully the next time it'll be like more of like, hey, do you want to go to college, or do you like welding? Like, do you want to go to a trade school and then like, you know, work a couple years or whatever and then be like a welder making a lot of money? Or do you want to just go get a job at 18, like whatever it is, like food service or something, like to deal with like people and just like understand like working with a team or whatever, and build your own business on the side, like a side hustle.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's one thing that I really hope, like, if I do ever have kids someday, that, like, I like to think that I would, like, just really, like, try to let them figure out their own path. Like,
Yeah.
if they don't want to go to college, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, as long as like they want to do something.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's one of the questions I was going to ask you is like, what have you learned so far about yourself? Like, what do you think you want to do? Like, obviously the fitness thing is a passion of yours right now, and could potentially, the sky's the limit on anything that anybody ever starts for themselves. But do you think like that is something that you want to pursue, or have you thought of other things?
It also could be, man, like I would like to, like I feel like I could play drums in a band.
Yeah.
You know, because like, and once we get off, like I'll show you some I've recorded myself playing.
Yeah.
I've been playing drums since I was in 6th grade, so like 11 or 12. Yeah, I've just been playing ever since, and I can't really describe it, but like the feeling that I get, like when I put my headphones in and I just start playing, it's like intoxicating.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like I'm not on planet Earth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's so like I'm very into that as well. You know. I'm not really sure. You know, it's just like especially with everything that's going on right now. It's like just trying to take it one day at a time. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I mean,
I'm definitely motivated though, like with these things, like the fitness and the music and stuff. Like,
yeah, I think that I don't know. I've just gone through specifically again myself such a huge shift in like I feel like I've broken the mold in my personal life. Like I want to say in like my family in a sense, because people always talked about back in the day, first kid to go to college type of thing. I wish I was the first kid to not go to college or something like that. I mean, I wouldn't have been the first one, but you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm the first one. That was never said to me growing up. Like it was like, you know, go to college, get good grades and do stuff like, but like it was like, what do you want to do? But it's like, we'll pick one of these things in a sense. Right. But like I wanted to create things. Like I'm not creative, but I wanted to build things for myself. Like I started to realize that. And, you know, much like you with the fitness page and like music and everything like that, I just think that a much better life is chasing things that make you happy and make you fulfilled. And
not money.
Yeah. I mean, like money will come with that sort of stuff too. Like if you want it to, like it's not hard to make money, but you know, you can always make more money, but you can't get more time. No. And that is just something that like every day, especially the stuff that I'm doing now, it's like difficult. It's not going to be easy. That's not the reason you do it. You do it because it's more fulfilling, you know, and it's just an interesting thing. And it's always my recommendation to people, like, at least fucking think about it, you know, like think about what you would want to do, like ideal day type shit. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah. And,
I don't know, just from all the influences that I've had, like that is what people just like glorify. And I'm starting to realize that is really what almost life should be. And I think that more of us are moving towards that. You know, it just doesn't all happen at once.
That's another reason why, like, I really wanted to come on, because like we're talking about time. Like,
yeah.
I forget which parent I was talking to, but I was talking to him on the phone the other day, and I was really trying to like tell him, like, look, like I'm fucking miserable. Like I'm having a really hard time just with all these classes. The workload's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like nobody's like really throwing me a bone, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, I feel like I could just be doing so many better things that have nothing to do with college, you know, like whether it's playing music or like building a brand or whatever. Like, I don't know. But I definitely feel like I'm more destined for something like that than like getting a 9-to-5 job, you know? And like my parents were like saying, well, you got the rest of your life to do that stuff. Well, do I?
What the I was about to say, what the fuck does that mean? I
could drop
didn't
dead
want to
tomorrow.
disrespect your parents. What?
I could drop dead tomorrow. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm wasting 4 years. Like, fuck that, man. Like, I don't want to waste any more time.
Yeah. No, I mean,
like, I've been in school since I was 4 years old. I want to get out.
Yeah.
It's time. Yeah. You know?
I'm right there with you, man. That's the exact reason. I mean, different, you know, slightly different paths. Obviously, you're learning it actually sooner than I did. But I was working at a job for, I guess, a year and a half or whatever after I got out, something like that. So, but I realized that, like, I learned some things, I met some people. The job itself wasn't bad. Like, I never want to shit on that thing, but it was me. Like, I realized that it's just something. There's something, that this is not where I need to be. I need to be doing something else. I need to be doing other things. I need to be not being miserable, mostly just because of me. Like, like, you can't, some things you just can't control about yourself. It's like, if you don't want to be somewhere, you can't fucking force yourself to be there every single day and want to do that.
It's just horrible.
Yeah. So, it's,
and I'm starting to feel the effects now from just like just doing that over and over again, and just like, I don't want to say pretending, but like trying to like want to be there because I feel like I owe it to my family or whatever to like do that. Or,
well, if I can give you a bit of advice, and maybe anybody else that's in this situation, what I can say is that you are young. I mean, obviously, right? And it's, objectively, you absolutely, everybody could like die tomorrow or whatever, but objectively, you are young. If you live a standard-ish life as far as like timeline goes, you got a good chunk left. And what I will say, as far as just like something that I personally started to realize is, I think I said it in the episode, I'm not sure, but I've definitely said it before. I quit my job the end of January 2020. It is now like September-ish 2020 or whatever. So like, 8 months or whatever. It does turn around. You know what I'm saying? When you go to the place that you should be, or you move towards the place that you feel you should be, that goes away. Like, it doesn't go fully away right away, because there's a lot of things you have to figure out and stuff like that. But the moment that you decide that you're not going to be miserable anymore, you start to become less miserable. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a little bit of like just hope for you there. I mean, I'm sure you kind of thought that already, but
it's tight. It's sometimes, some days it's tough to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, the bright side of things. I mean, I know it for certain. I try to always be an optimist, but there is definitely times,
especially now.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, this past time. Hopefully, it all continues to trend upward here. I think we're hopefully seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
I feel like
here
things can only move forward.
Yeah,
I feel like you can't go backward.
Absolutely. I mean, I always try to live in the moment, but at the same time, though, I learned from the past, but I find myself like forgetting a lot of shit. And I think it's because I don't care about a lot of stuff that happens, because it's insignificant to where I'm trying to go, And I don't know if that sounds like I'm an asshole or not, but that's just generally the case. Like, you can ask Amanda, my girlfriend, like, I have a terrible memory.
I have, wouldn't say like I don't give a shit, but like it's gotten to a point now, just like, again, like, how long has this thing been going on for? Like 7 months.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to not be, it's not that I'm like trying to be inconsiderate of other people or their concerns, but it's like, this stuff just really has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I just don't give a fuck.
Honestly. No. I mean, I 100% agree with you. Like, again, we talked about it. I am trying to do things.
And if I get if I drop dead, like, oh well, man, like, I can't control it.
I don't know why people try to control things that they can't. It's like, it's
out of your hands.
Yeah. I personally think, so I'm not, we could talk about this if you want, but I'm not really religious. Like, I went to Catholic school, but I went to Catholic school for all those years. But like, the one thing that I would say, and I'm sure it's other places, I'm sure it doesn't have something specifically to Catholicism, but there's, and I'm not going to remember it exactly word for word, but there's something called the Serenity Prayer, where it's like, it's only 3 lines, and it's like, it's a prayer, but it's actually just a really good thing to fucking follow. It has nothing to do with really religion. All it says is like, have the strength to not change to deal with, basically, don't fuck with the things, I'm gonna swear in this prayer. Don't fuck with the things that you can't change. Like, there's literally no reason. Don't devote any energy to that, because it's just a total waste of time. Change the things that you can. Focus fully on those things. Have the courage, or whatever it says in there, to do that, because that's all you can fucking do. And then try to understand, like, have the wisdom to understand the difference between those things. And I feel like if you literally 3 lines, if you just lived your life like that, you're going to be far ahead of most people, because that's literally like the essence of just being a good person and trying to move forward. Because you're not people. I think I see this all the time, especially in like, you know, my day-to-day life. People try to like they give so much of a shit about things that have nothing to do with them. You know, like gossip and shit like that, and like current events that like they really can't do anything about. And it's just like, I can't even I've gotten so far away from that I have so much shit in my head that I want to do with these businesses and like everything that I'm trying to do in my life that I have control over. Like, it's actually overwhelming how many things I have control over. Now you want to add other shit to it that I can't control, like to put in my mind. You're out of your fucking mind, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's crazy. I don't understand how people do that. I mean, that was a long-winded explanation of that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand how people can live their lives, you know, worrying about that type of shit.
I think so. I think social media has a lot of benefits, but there are a lot of problems
for sure
with it, and you're seeing it now. I mean, I'm starting to think, like, what even. Me and my roommate were talking about this the other day. Like, what is the purpose of social media? You know, what is it for? Because you have people like me and you that are posting, you know, talking about like trying to build up a brand or whatever, trying to post positive stuff, and then you have people that are going on there just being negative, you know, getting mad at people. And sometimes I think people do get mad for the right reasons on there, but sometimes I think it's like, I just think it's to a point where you're being toxic. I'm just not really. And then you have people that are just posting like photos with their friends or whatever, like partying or whatever, and like, I'm just not really like, what is it for? You know, I don't really know.
I think originally it was a way to connect people to some degree. Well, I mean, Facebook was specifically for like, I don't know if you ever watched that Social Network thing, but you know, but like, I don't know what its actual purpose for. I think originally it was to connect people. I think it's morphed heavily into just like data of, you know, understanding people. Honestly, more than anything, it's to advertise to you, because like they know what you like. You know, it's a way to put all your information online, and then you can then Facebook as a company, or insert, you know, any social media company, can sell your information in a sense, or the things that you enjoy, to advertisers, and then make money like that. So it's definitely morphed. But as far as like its effectiveness and its actual, you know, the consequence of it on society, it's really amazing what times have shown it to be. Like, it can be hugely productive. Like, it has the power to be a huge productivity tool, whether you're, you know, building a brand, or whether, honestly, if there was like a good reason to use social media, like a good like thing to come together that everybody could rally around, absolutely could be huge. But I mean, recently every single thing that I see on Facebook is like divisive. Like, especially, it was during COVID, it was like, you know, mask versus no mask, all this sort of stuff, which, again, whatever you want, but it's just so toxic. It's like, you scroll one thing, it's like one thing, and it's like, oh, and the worst is when you read it.
Oh yeah.
You read it and it's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. And then you read something completely opposite. And it's like, fuck, that makes sense too. Well, what the fuck? What camp am I in? It's like, why do I need to be in a camp? You know, like, it's like, there's no way.
I feel like too, and like, I hate this, like, I feel like when you put like label yourself as something, it's almost like you're putting yourself into a box.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're more than just, everybody's more than just like a Democrat or Republican.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, you're more than that.
Yeah.
And like, I just think like every individual is different. And it's like, we should stop focusing on like what people believe in or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, again, if your beliefs are like hateful or like violent, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want anything to do with people like that.
Yeah.
But like, if they like disagree with me on like tax, like something stupid like taxes or whatever, like, I'm not gonna hate you.
Right.
You know, like, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just think we gotta stop. We gotta focus more on people's qualities, like the quality of their character, as opposed to like their beliefs or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I hope we go in that direction. I'm not sure though.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, it's tough to see the light at the end of that tunnel from a divisive standpoint, because it looks like it's getting pretty bad. More. So here's the thing, though. Like, just a thought about that. Is it? I don't know if it's actually getting worse, or we're just seeing it more. if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if like people actually like if there was actually this much division, or if we're seeing it because it's become so mainstream in a sense. Like it's trying to be divided.
I don't know. I felt like, because I was in high school when the 2016 one happened. I mean, there were definitely a lot of political conversations, but I definitely didn't, I don't know, at least for me, I didn't really feel like anybody was coming at anybody's throat,
Yeah.
for like voting for Trump or voting for Hillary. You
Yeah.
know, like it was definitely like a big thing because like we had somebody in Trump who was like is not like a politician and like
It's very interesting.
It was interesting. I think that's what got a lot of people talking.
Yeah.
And he said things that like I guess a lot of politicians in the past haven't said. But I don't know. I felt like once it was over, I felt like everybody kind of went back to what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure this time around if that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah. I'm kind of concerned.
I am too. And I feel like the longer this, because I think the problem too is everybody's so frustrated. Everybody's angry. Everybody's on edge with just like,
it's like perfect storm.
Combination of just these lockdown measures. Nobody can go. A lot of people can't go to work.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do the things that like bring them joy, that is beneficial for their mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm concerned that like the longer all that stuff goes on, like it's going to get a lot worse. And you might see it get ugly. Honestly, I don't know.
It'll be an interesting thing. Yeah, definitely see
how this end of the year unfolds.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you want to talk about the mental health aspect and stuff, but wherever you want to go.
Yeah. So I have always been, ever since I was a little boy, I've always been a kid that has just worried. Just nervous guy, worried. This is obviously me stepping out of my comfort zone. I've definitely struggled to like speak my mind on things and be honest.
Yeah.
Because there've definitely been many situations in my life where I've wanted to speak up and like say I don't agree with that, or I think that's bullshit, but I didn't have the confidence to. And I think a lot of that, and have like tough, like I've always struggled with having tough conversations with people. Like if I'm in like a friendship with somebody and they're like I think they're mistreating me, or I think they're taking advantage of me in some way. I've always been somebody to like not speak up, just kind of like deal with it, let them continue to treat me like shit because I'm afraid of like what could happen, what the consequences could be of me speaking up. Are they gonna like want to fight me or something? Like I just like my mind spins, and I've dealt with a little bit of it's more anxiety for me, but I've definitely, especially now, like dealt with some depression in my life too.
Yeah.
Definitely through high school. One regret that I'll always have, man, is not being myself and trying to fit in with people that like just trying to fit in with people, trying to fit in with the popular crowd, whatever that means. I don't know, but yeah, just being something that I'm not to please other people and have all these friends and stuff, and just again doing things because I thought it was the cool thing to do, and that definitely translated into college a little bit too. Don't get me wrong, I do genuinely like to like sometimes kick back and have a few drinks. I think it's for me, it's a good way to escape for a little bit, relax. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But there have definitely been times where I've made an ass out of myself. I've drank too much, wake up feeling like shit. And luckily, like I don't do that. I haven't done that like every single weekend. And there are people that do, and man, I don't know how people do. I don't know how you do that every single weekend and just continue to wake up and just feel like ass. Like throw up and like just have a headache all day, and like I don't know how you do that, but yeah, especially right now at these times, like I've definitely not taken the time to like eat better food, eat quality food, and like thankfully I do have a very fast metabolism, so it goes right out of me, but like still like my body's definitely not liking what I'm putting in it, and it's just like easier to like when you're down to like feel like eat like shit
Yeah.
and like, you know, put things into your body that are not good for you.
Yeah.
And it felt like for a little bit like I was getting out of that, you know, drinking and smoking shit. But then as this thing has continued to just, this COVID stuff has continued to just happen, it's gotten so exhausting, dude. It's just like you almost just want to like say fuck it, you know,
Yeah.
and just do whatever, you know. So definitely been, you know, and I'm definitely trying to like be better and just stop doing that stuff. But you know, it's tough, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't give you personal experience
Yeah,
because,
right.
like, I mean, like we said, I think off air or whatever, but, you know, I've never drank or smoked,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean, you know, from me to you, that doesn't mean that like I haven't been stressed. That doesn't mean that I haven't been like depressed or haven't been, you know, anxious or any of that sort of stuff. Because seriously, like I was fucking miserable. Like I was absolutely miserable for a period of time in my life where kind of through college, but like mostly like on the tail end of the job type thing. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know. I didn't feel like my life had any meaning in it. I was
When you
just,
start that, and then when that happens, you start to kind of have thoughts that like you don't normally have.
yeah,
If that makes sense. And just
yeah,
like these, it's like a scary place, man.
yeah,
And like it's okay to talk about it.
yeah. Well,
Like,
I think talking about it helps
and I
because,
don't know why it's become this like, and I think it's part of it's like the older generation.
yeah,
You know, like it's just this like taboo thing. Like, oh, you're seen as weak.
yeah,
You know, you're, you know, like just suck it up or whatever.
yeah.
Like, I think there's more to it than
Yeah, I don't think that is.
it's not helpful.
I don't think it's the right way to go. I think that there's a better way. I think that
It's dismissive.
yeah, I think that a lot of times what you'll find is I don't want to. Again, I don't want to characterize the older generation, but to use that as the example there, it's like if people are telling you to suck it up, that kind of means like they are sucking it up. In my opinion, it's like, well, you know, everybody has to work. Everybody's got to go 9 to 5. You know, got to come home and
You gotta push through it.
and it's got to, you know, drink or like binge eat or do whatever, right? Some sort of everybody needs kind of like an escape sometimes. I mean, we're not perfect. We're humans. There's going to be stress.
I made a lot of mistakes in my young 21 years.
Yeah,
on
I
this
mean,
earth,
but I mean, it's
and that's one thing I've also struggled with too is like guilt and shame. You know,
Yeah.
like and that like ties into the anxiety. It's like when I make a mistake, I really beat myself up hard.
yeah,
You know, and then it's like sometimes I'll let it eat away at me
hmm
so much to the point where I like can't eat, I can't sleep. It's
yeah,
tough, man.
yeah. I mean, I can't say that I am like qualified to give advice on those
Right.
types of things, but like I know where you're coming from, you know,
Yeah.
and I haven't dealt with it like severely, but again, to go back, I was really miserable. I made a change in my life. That was a difficult one. And I guess I'll say that I was pretty fortunate to be in a situation where I could do that, right? And I could follow the things, and I'm grateful for my parents that I'm still obviously living at home and all that sort of stuff, but I just feel like regardless of that, you have to put in perspective that like maybe, you know, if you're in that position and you really feel like you need to change something, and you don't, like, your options are literally don't change something and continue to feel shitty and probably feel more shitty, or change something and like maybe experience a little bit of like, you know, resistance, whether it's like, you know, having to get like a part-time job or having to get like the thing here's why I get fucked. Okay, I want to go from 0 to 100
Mm-hmm.
is all the time is what I want to do. So it's like, what the fuck do I need to do to get to the goal? But sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you got to go 10, 20, 30, 40. And that is a real thing that fucks me all the time, because it's like, especially with everything I'm trying to do, it's like I want to get to what I'm looking to get to, but the process is very important, and that's why you need to kind of enjoy that part of it. But you need to somehow realize that just because it's going to take a long time and you're going to be doing things to like move towards that, that doesn't mean that it needs to be any more miserable or anything like that.
And I just want to clarify too, like through like this kind of rut period that I've been in, like I've not missed a week of working out.
Yeah.
I've continued to like try to just like drink a lot of water, hydrate a lot. So like those things have not stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been able to push myself through all that, which I'm proud of, honestly. But yeah, like I definitely want to get rid of those other things in my life that are kind of holding me back, holding me down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think I could definitely take it to the next step.
That's, I mean, that's eloquently put there. That is literally what I feel like life is like. It's like it's kind of like, you know, in the gym, right? Like you said, like you start doing good things and you have some upward trends. You get the beginner gains and then you plateau because it's like, well, your body has now become accustomed to you working out at this level.
At that weight,
Yeah.
those reps.
Yeah. And then you plateau and it's like, well, what the fuck? You know, Mark in this case, like, well, I got to this level because I challenged myself initially, and that's how I made that. Now I'm not really being challenged anymore. Like I know what I'm in for every day when I go to the gym, right? So you're plateauing, and then it's like, well, I want to get to the next plateau. Well, I got to challenge myself again. It's like just because you challenge yourself once doesn't mean that you can't. You like, oh well, I did it one time. Now I'm out. Now I'm in there. It's the progression.
It's hard, man, because it does take a long time though to get that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. This didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, dude, I was so inconsistent at first. You know, like just struggling. And I still have days where it's like, man, I really don't want to work out, and I'll procrastinate it, and then I'll like wait until night to do it, but I still get it in.
Yeah.
Because I think like as shitty as I'm feeling that day, that is my 1 hour or however long I work out to like do something for myself.
Yep.
And I don't have to worry about any of the outside bullshit that's going on, what's going on in the world, the school, any of that. It's and it's, even with playing the drums too.
Yeah.
Like that's my time to just I don't even know what the word is, but like escape.
Yeah. And so there's a couple of thoughts that I just had. So like one is I'll talk about this first and then try to remind me to come back to the escape thing because that was something else. But like what I was going to say was that happens. Another example of how that happens because it happens in my life. Like I'm not nearly going to the gym. I need to try to. I was kind of into fitness at one point. I need to kind of like inject that back into the routine. That's kind of one of the things that I want to work on. But the plateauing thing and the progression. I've noticed that about myself, but I haven't done enough about it where like throughout the day, right, I'll work from home and I'll be doing all these different things. And like during the middle of the day or something, I'll be like kind of like lethargic. Like I won't want to do a lot. And like, I know though that there are certain times in the day where I should be doing certain things because it would be better for me, but I can't fully rationalize it. Like simply meaning when I go to the gym, I enjoy it. Like I like being active. I don't know why you wouldn't, you know, unless like, you're somebody that never was, but I play a lot of ball hockey. Like when I go out there, I want to play. Like even there's some days where
I've
I like
gotten into basketball more lately too. It's fun.
Yeah,
Man.
it's like
it's
just
good to move.
Yeah, just moving around.
It's
like
good for your body.
Yeah, keep your body healthy. You know, so it's like, but there's some times where it's like you don't want to. It's like for some reason, like your body's a little stiff or something like that. You don't want to start, but once you start, that is beyond a doubt. Like that is one of the biggest things that I've learned is like there's sometimes as instinctually as a human, whether it is doing, you know, a side project that you're doing or going to the gym or whatever it is, most of the time the problem is starting. It's not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it'll be hard kind of, but it's like way harder to start than it is to just fucking do it.
Dude, it is hard. Like even on days when you like don't want to work out.
Yeah.
The hardest part is just starting.
Yeah.
And it's like like that for me at least, the beginning of the workout is the worst.
Yeah.
Because you're like trying to like get your body like into that mode.
Yeah.
Of like pushing and you know that intensity.
Yeah.
But then once you're in it,
it's
like you just for me I just it's off from there, you know.
Yep. Exactly. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about, like just on that escape topic there, is because like it's kind of semantics, but for me, I don't like I think of certain things as like being. I don't want to say bad, but like escape, like this is, I don't know if this is philosophical or what it is. I don't like the idea of having to escape my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one of the things was like, I felt like I was going to a 9-to-5 back then, and then I would come home and like, that's my life. Like, that's my life. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I was trying to build. That's what I was trying to do things.
When I said escape, I meant escape from like the college
stuff.
for
sure. But I
which
just
is making me unhappy.
Well, exactly. And it's not like it's just almost my relationship with that word or just like my relationship with thing. And honestly, it's a bigger, broader thing. So to simplify it, like what I mean is like if you have to escape or you feel like you have to escape, the escape is probably where you should be. You know what I'm saying? And unless the escape is like a bad thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like people use maybe alcohol to escape or like weed or something like that. And that's probably necessary in the situation that you're in. But if you need something like that, you probably need to change the fucking other 90% of your life. You understand?
Whatever
like,
the situation is, yeah.
Because like I don't feel at this point, like I love playing hockey. I would say that's kind of one of my escapes. But I don't have too many, like I'm just trending towards more of a place where I want to enjoy my entire life. I don't want to have,
wouldn't you?
like what the fuck? You break this shit down and it's like, why do other people not think this way? And it's troubling because
think about like this, the whole like, oh, we gotta, and I'm definitely doing this now, but like, I think this ties into like people that are like, again, like unhappy or unsatisfied with what they're doing, like working for the weekend.
Yeah, I fucking hate that,
weekend,
bro. Thank God it's Friday. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for people that think that, but
for me, like with just all that college and stuff in the classes, like I do look forward to the weekend because I'm unhappy with the shit that I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I understand.
You know?
Yeah, it's just.
But I want to get to the point where I'm not looking forward to the weekend. Every day is just enjoyable.
Absolutely.
And I'm not fucking miserable.
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny thing about that, just because it's on the same topic. I used to, when I was in college and when I was working, like pretty much every day sucked for me because I was working. I was either going to college like at first, and then when I got my job, like I was working 5 days a week. Again, not terrible. I don't ever want to assign blame. That's another important thing I think from a psychological perspective. But I always like to blame myself. Like I put the blame on yourself because if you are blaming yourself, then you are fucking fully in control of whatever you're doing. If you're constantly saying, "Oh, fuck this and fuck them and fuck that," and I am in this place because of someone, you've totally lost control of your life. Like you've totally there's never a situation that is, I don't want to say never because people are in terrible situations, but most fucking people that I hear say that, like you could easily do something, So that's one thing. But what I was going to say real quick about that was I was working 5 days a week, 9 to 5, and I was getting more and more miserable. And then my dessert, if you will, or my reward for working 5 days a week was going to my grandma's restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was working 2 days. And at the time, again, nothing bad about the place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great place. I'm not, I know my mom and everybody listens to these and stuff like that. So I'm not shitting on it, but they know. It's like as you go through your life, there are certain pieces of your life that are really helpful. And for the longest time, it taught me a fuck ton. Taught me how to work. It taught me about people. It taught me all sorts of stuff. But as you continue to go, it's like, well, I am hating every day of my life at that point, right? Because it's just tough. I mean, you're waking up early. It's fucking miserable. Mm-hmm. So at that point, the 5 days a week was really shitty. The 2 days a week was shitty. Okay. And there's this idea that I have where it's like, and I've seen this before. It didn't pertain to me because all 7 days were relatively shitty. But there's this idea, and you mention it, like it's like, thank God it's Friday, thank God for the weekend, stuff like that. It's like you're gonna trade.
Gary Vee talks about that too.
Yeah. It's like I get a lot of shit from him. I've listened to a lot of his shit in the past.
Me too.
But you trade 5 fucking miserable days for 2 good ones out of 7. Like that doesn't seem like a very good trade. Like I don't know what the percentage of 2 out of 7 is, but you know what I'm saying. Like that doesn't really seem it's low. It doesn't really seem like that's a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, and this isn't like to you or to anybody else. I'm not trying to like fucking guilt you into changing your life right now, because sometimes you have to go through that shit. But strengthening your mind, I feel like I'm getting preachy here. But the idea is like if you start to think about it and start to move towards that direction, because like we said, you can't do it overnight. Maybe you have to finish school. Maybe that is the best decision right now. Right. But like once you get to a point where you can start acting on it, like I worked for a year and a half, 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. Like once you get to that point, like as long as you're looking ahead and you're like, okay, like this, you're trying to time it out, you're trying to make some plans, you're trying to save some money, whatever it is, like just fucking trend that way. You know what I'm saying? Just don't trend the other way. Like, oh, well, life sucks. I guess this is going to be my life for the next 40 years. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So But the reason it's funny is because you trade the 5 good days or 5 bad days for 2 good days. I never had that. And now it's like I've actually kind of reversed it. I now have 5 pretty good days because I'm working all the stuff that I want, and then kind of like 2 shittier days because I'm working at the restaurant. It's like, oh, I could be working. I could be 7 days already. Like I'd be doing all the stuff that I want to do.
It's interesting you brought up about like blaming others and all that stuff. So definitely been guilty of that throughout my life. You know,
I think we all are
we
to a
all
certain
are
degree.
because like as humans, you don't want to admit like we don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like we want to be right. We
For sure.
want to feel like, you know, good.
Yeah.
You know, and like it's really fucking hard to like pick yourself apart and like really like examine like what I might have some bad qualities.
Yeah. Humility is difficult.
So, a good example is, and this ties into, you know, kind of the situation I've been talking about, like that I'm in right now. So last summer, I found out that like my parents are moving to New York, and that was, I took that pretty hard, because the house that we lived in PA was I lived in a house for like 16 years, long time. We lived in another house, but like I was like, you know, we moved out of that when I was like 4, so I don't really have any like real memories of that place. So yeah, that I took that hard, and that the process of them selling the house and all this stuff, like, dude, that really dragged on for like a year. Like it dragged on through the whole pandemic, everything. And like, and just all on top of that, like moving, like trying to move in the midst of a pandemic, that's just craziness.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just like sitting back and observing all this shit, and like classes are going online, you know, can't go to the gym, all this stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, I'm just like eating everybody else's shit. You know, I have to sit here and chew on all this shit when I didn't do, like, I feel like I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything to deserve this shit, you know? And they have just moved out of that house about 2 weeks ago. So I was at school. So I didn't really get a chance to like really say goodbye to the house.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I feel like I've kind of lately been like blaming other people, blaming situations that were, you know, like for the reason of why I'm feeling this way.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's definitely like, I definitely have to stop doing that, you know, like, and I'm definitely trying to.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, I say it.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the ideal way, you know, it's
because at some point, like, it's okay to get knocked down, but like at some point you got to get back up.
For sure.
You know, you cannot like just continue to like, you got to let shit go at some point. You got to just like move on, you know, like, and I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Definitely. For sure.
Holding grudges and stuff. And
yeah. That's the worst.
Just,
yeah.
Dude, it'll eat you alive.
100%. 100%. So yeah, man, I mean, we've hit on a lot of heavy stuff, so far. But I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about, we talked during one of the breaks about, the fitness page.
Yeah.
So, like what was the, like kind of what, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but you wanted to add to it.
So I kind of like felt like too, because again, like I talked about with always felt like I was always like this skinny kid, and like, you know, some people would joke about it, some people would genuinely like just be a dick to me about it, make fun of my appearance or whatever. And initially, I wanted to make it to show like kind of like as like a big like fuck you to all the people that like made fun of me or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, look at me now. But then I kind of realized, okay, I can't. That mentality, there's kind of a problem with that too.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. It's
because
tough.
You're coming at it from a place of anger and sort of like arrogance a little bit, and that's not who I want to be at all.
Yeah.
But like I kind of felt like I got myself to a point where I had been working hard in the gym to where I could like kind of like start to look the part, if that makes sense. Like I started to kind of like feel like, okay, like I'm starting to look the part, and like I can I want to try to like really step out of my comfort zone here, because I've always like had especially right now, like
Yeah.
had a hard time like getting filmed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not somebody that likes to be filmed, and I just felt like, you know what, fuck it, like let's just give this a try. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, if it fails or whatever, like who cares?
Mhm.
You know, and that was like the thing too. Like when I'd first gotten Instagram, I was very, very, very concerned about like how many followers I had, how many likes I was getting, and all that stuff. And then, yeah, like, and that kind of happened at first with the fitness page, but now it's like gotten to the point where I genuinely do not give a fuck who likes it or who doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do find myself getting a little bit frustrated because I feel like, you know, I've had the page for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now, and it's like, man, I wish I did have a little bit more of a following. You know, I feel like I am posting good workouts that
Yeah.
people can follow and stuff, and like whatever. And I do get frustrated about that part because I want to build up the following, because
Right.
I want to reach more people. I kind of want to be like sort of like an inspiration to people that like
Yeah.
kids that were like me, like
Mhm.
that felt like whether they felt like overweight or underweight,
Mhm.
like, man, I can make a change, and I can do it. Like if this guy can do it, like I can do it as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's really what it comes from. It's like more like, let's see, frustration because of like I want to, not because I want like 1,000 likes, but it's like I want to reach more people, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, you want to have an impact on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously, in order to have more of an impact, you do need to get the numbers need to get greater. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're in the same boat as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a that part's a grind.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, you know, whether it's money or whether it's like followership or stuff like that, like
Because I genuinely care about people. That's really what it is.
exactly. Yeah. And you want to see them succeed. You want to see them get better.
Absolutely.
You want to see them go through the same type of transformation that you have, like with this idea of, you know, you didn't like something about yourself and you made a change.
And it's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm still. I don't think anybody will ever be 100% satisfied. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep doing the work.
Right.
You know, but yeah, like I'm definitely proud of the way I look now, but like I'm definitely not. There's definitely changes that need to still happen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I definitely fall into that a lot, where it's like you work every day on whatever you're doing, or, you know, however often, and, you know, at a certain point, it's like your list is getting bigger, right?
Mhm.
There's things that you want to do, ideas you're having, and all that sort of stuff. But you know what's also growing? The amount of shit that you've done. You know, the completed tasks and like the days that you've worked out or whatever, you know, the case may be.
Mhm.
And I was actually before the episode, I was kind of thinking about that a little bit, like what are the things that I want to prioritize moving forward, like almost like as a little checkup.
Mhm.
And you know, I realized that when you have those types of checkups, like, what am I going to do moving forward? A really good fucking exercise is to turn the fuck around and see what you've completed, because, you know, I think occasionally we need some motivation. Like we need a little pat on the back, like just to ourselves. It's like, yo, we've come a very far way.
Yeah, I was doing that the other day. Honestly, I was looking at a picture of myself like from like 2 years ago. I'm like, damn, like I don't look like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even like workouts that I had posted like early on, I'm like, damn, like I've improved.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to see the progress when you're like moving forward, but when you go backwards and look back in time, like you can really see, holy shit, like.
Well, even when you're just constantly in the whirlwind of life, you know, and you're living in the moment, and like that's another thing too, is everybody's moving so fast. Even though a lot of times people are just like doing the same bullshit every day, like driving to work, working, driving home, eating, going to sleep, watching TV, whatever. Like you're still like have this weird fog over your lenses, if you will, your eyes. That's like you're not seeing what's happening. And a lot of times, I mean, this all ties into stuff we talked about this whole episode, but you're not seeing what actually is there. You're not seeing what your life has been. And a lot of times I don't think people look really forward either. And it's like, it's a weird thing.
This might be a weird, stupid analogy, but I've been growing my hair out for about 8 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And like, again, it's like it's like working out too, and you're looking at your body, you're looking at in the mirror every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's hard to notice a change when you look at yourself every day.
Right.
It's like with the hair, when you're like trying to get it to grow, it's like, sometimes you feel like it's not growing because like you're looking at it all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like then once you look back at a picture, it's like, holy shit, like it looks a lot different.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. No, it's a great analogy. And I think that's I mean, that's life to a lot of extent. It's you make so much progress, and you got to make sure that you're on the right path, because you might not make the right progress. You might be going, downward in some senses. But just that type of a annual, semi-annual, whatever timeline of like an audit of how you're doing, I think is really important, and really just for your sanity too, because everybody likes to make progress. So, and everybody likes to see it, because that's where you lose the motivation is when
everybody wants a pat on the back.
Everybody
needs a pat on the back.
For sure. Yeah. And when you can be your own source of that, because you might not have somebody else to necessarily do that, that's really important. It's, again, self-sufficiency. Jocko Willink actually talks about like extreme ownership, that type of a thing. I don't follow that extremely, but like just from it, like you can obviously tell like what it's about. It's like, fuck, I mean, it's your life, whether it's
weird. Like he was talking about, or he was like saying like, on the days where I get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, that's when I'm the most motivated.
Yeah.
It's actually the same for me too.
Really?
Like when I get like, cause I'm like a night owl. Like I don't really, I always go to bed late, and I don't like waking up early.
Yeah.
So it's like on the days when I get like 4 hours of sleep, it's like when I wake up, it's like, all right, let's fucking go. You know, like let's see what I can do on limited rest.
Yeah.
It's like I get like motivated. It's weird.
Interesting. Yeah. I can't say that
I'm
the same.
I get more done.
I understand. I understand it. No, I mean, it's like you got something to prove.
It's almost like you got your back against the wall, and it's like you really get like you want to see what you're made of.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot going on, man. I think I wanted to kind of ask. We've talked a lot about like everything that you've learned and everything. I wanted to ask. What do you think your plans are? This is tough, but like, what do you think your plans are moving forward? That's a loaded question because there's a lot, obviously, but you have school. I'm assuming that the plan right now is to finish, obviously, with the Zoom University shit.
I actually have that on my Instagram profile.
Really?
Zoom University.
Nice. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Everybody's going to that.
Oh yeah.
But you have that, and then you have obviously the fitness page.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your drumming, and you have like your aspirations there. So like, I mean, if you want to hit them one at a time, or just like kind of just however you want to talk about it. But like, I'm asking the question from the idea of, really honestly, I'd love to give you any sort of like advice or whatever, but like any sort of like help that I can give you, any sort of perspective of what you can do, because you're going to be, assuming you finish, right? Like, as the plan right now, you finish college, and then you're going to have these two things, at least, probably more, that you're interested in trying, right? Yeah. Have you thought about what your plan is, like, moving forward there? Do you have any ideas like that? And if I can, I would love to kind of give
So I actually do want to talk about music more if we can.
Absolutely, yeah.
So me and my roommate actually have been thinking about, we'll have to think about this more once this semester ends, but like, I guess we've been hearing through the cracks that like if next semester might be online again too, which would be very frustrating because that's when I graduate.
Yeah.
And I'd love to graduate under a normal circumstance and have the ceremony, at least have something.
Right.
But so I have to see like what's going to happen with that. But, if I do finish on time, which I'm thinking honestly, I probably will. But obviously I want to graduate. I want to get a place of my own. I'd like to like in a very short period after I graduate not have to worry about like just living with my parents, like I want to. And then I'm thinking maybe because obviously I need to have some source of income, I need to get some type of job when I get out. And then on the side, I do think I want to, whether it's music or fitness, I want to focus on building a brand, a brand of some sort in one of those areas. Yeah. Maybe two. We'll see.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big proponent of chasing what you think you want to do and your passions and everything like that, because I think it's fulfilling. It's more fulfilling than sometimes the alternative. So, So like right now you think kind of like both, like or like just after you graduate. I mean, you're already kind of starting, building the fitness brand and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing too with like music is finding people to play with.
Yeah.
So I'm sure once I get out, it'll be. I actually think it'll be a lot easier to find people that are interested in music and stuff too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'd love to. I'd love to play in a band. You know, like,
Yeah.
you know who Travis Barker is? Blink
Yeah.
182.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
he actually was on Joe Rogan, and he was like talking about how in like high school he met with his like guidance counselor.
Yeah.
And they asked him like what he wanted to do, and he said, "I want to be a drummer in a band." And they said, "What?" Like they looked at him like he was stupid.
Yeah.
He'll never be able to do that. And it's like, again, like, I'm not bashing my parents here, but I did tell them, like, you know, look, like that guy, he came from nothing. Look at him now, like he's, you know, he just made an album with, you know, Machine Gun Kelly is.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the album?
Is it the most recent one?
Yeah.
The tickets to my downfall. I was listening a little bit earlier today, actually.
It's hard. But,
yeah.
So he just made an album with Machine Gun Kelly. He's doing all these like rap. He's producing all these rap albums and like with these artists and stuff. Like it's crazy. Like, and like they like said, well, don't you think he got a little bit lucky?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I love the lucky. I love the lucky response.
I'm like,
he probably worked hard.
Maybe he didn't work hard.
Maybe you got a couple opportunities, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to find, truthfully,
because I was like telling him like I would like to do that.
Yeah,
you know? It'd be cool as fuck.
Yeah. Let me inject a piece of knowledge here that I've learned so far, experience. So when you work hard, I'm not going to go as far to say like you work hard, you get success. I don't think it's that binary, like 1-to-1. But what does happen is if you work hard and you inject a little bit of like smart working in there, like not just like literally slaving away, but like I'm saying like working hard and also trying to like network with people. Like my mom and my parents always told me network, like all that sort of stuff. You don't understand that like really in like, at least I didn't, like in kind of like college and stuff. Cause it's like, why the fuck do I want to talk to these like people that like I don't really have a lot in common with, like or other, you know, stuff like that. But when you find something that you're interested in, and like for instance, like if you went on to like some sort of, I have no idea where you find music inclined people, but maybe like a fucking Reddit subreddit or something like that, where you have like people that are all like interested in drumming, building bands and stuff like that. It doesn't matter wherever it is. Okay. If you go somewhere and you get into a group of those types of people, you are obviously going to want to network with them, and you're obviously going to want to say, hey, Joe Schmo, I play the drums. I would love to show you some samples, or like maybe we could collab sometime, just like on something, you know, like a cool project or something like that. I'm really just trying to continue to, you know, broaden the sphere of people that know about this in my life, because it's something that I'm passionate about. I'm always trying to work on that type of thing.
I don't share it. Like, I don't share that with a lot of people. Like, I've posted videos on my Instagram, like, page, but I haven't shared that with a lot of people that I'm actually like passionate about it, and I want to like.
Well, I was gonna. That was actually, that's one of the ways that I'm thinking. Anytime with this type of thing, especially younger people, you know, like yourselves, it was one of the things that I have really started to realize that might be a good impact opportunity for me is like, I'm not that much older, but I have tried a bunch of shit kind of in that window, like we were talking about, and I'm trying to build these different things. So if there's ever a time where I can like give some of that knowledge to you, I always say this, like it's tremendous to learn from your own mistakes, because it's like, well, fuck, I know how that feels, but it's way better to learn from other people's mistakes, because you don't even need to fuck up the first time, and then you already know what to do, you know? So, you know, I mean, like I said, if there's ever a time, like, you know, that's an invitation to anybody, honestly. But like, I always say that it's just, if there's a way that I can share what I've learned with you or anybody like that, I'm more than happy to do so, because I really feel like that is how we all kind of move forward in a lot of ways. And yeah, I think that you should definitely share maybe even make like a fucking page just for your drum. That's tough, because when you separate shit out like that, it's tough to continue build the following. But,
I had thought about that. Honestly,
it's an interesting idea. I mean, just play around with it. Like,
I don't want to be that guy that has like 3 Instagrams. You know, that's the other thing.
Yeah, I have like 5. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I do have like one for like each of the brands, but like I understand what you're saying there. Honestly, from a logistical point, it's difficult to manage, and it's like annoying, because like now you're like spreading out the people. The one thing it does do though, and I'll tell you this, if you're interested, if you have multiple interests, and you might like potentially make money from those different things and stuff like that. And if you do ever do like brands or whatever you want to do there, like the sky's the limit. But the separation of things is going to be somewhat important given the scenario. Meaning, like, I'll just use a quick example for me. Like I build websites under one like entity, and I do Fuel by Progress and make clothing and all this stuff under another entity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's, depending on how you think like your plan is going to go for those things, it might make sense to kind of separate it out. But again,
And like I'm even
personal
thinking
preference.
about it this way. It could like be one of those things where it's like, okay, I invest a lot of my time into the music stuff,
Yeah.
and I just work out on the side as like a hobby,
Yeah.
for fun, and to like just get better and stay in shape.
Yeah.
Or once it, like the other way around, it's like I really devote my time to fitness and really try to focus on building up the page and like getting myself and like really try to focus on getting in really, really good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then like music is like something on the side. You
Yeah.
know? Like that would make like either one would probably be
I mean,
amazing.
you're in a good position because obviously you're just getting out of college. You're not going to have a lot of debt. Like you could, depending on how you end up, like the actual income thing is obviously always a real concern. Like
As
you
long
can't.
as I have enough to live, man.
Yeah, no,
the
that's
thing.
just to achieve that bare minimum. So like as long as you keep your costs low and everything like that,
Yeah.
and then you can kind of decide that as a determining factor. It's like which one is easier to make money with, and then you can focus on that one, make that your living, but it's not like a 9 to 5. It's like something you enjoy. And then like, well, I'm tired. I'm kind of tired of working out today or whatever, or posting fitness content. Well, let me go make some music, you know. So that could be kind of like interesting, the way you could work that. But that is, I think you're on the right track, man. I know that like a lot of shit has, you know, happened in the last like few years, and like, you know, like most of us, we've all had a terrible time this year. But
it's definitely been a roller coaster, man. Like I look back on the person I was in high school, even in the beginning of college too. I'm like, who was that kid?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. It's weird how you evolve and just as a person over the years.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting.
Because I'm like thinking like what. Like who, I don't know. I'm just like thinking like, what was I trying to do? Like who was I trying to impress?
Yeah.
You know, I think like that's the problem I have with like, not the problem, but like, I feel like at least the college I go to, it does feel a little bit very cliquey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you're trying, like it's almost like you have to like, you know, be a certain way to like fit in with everybody. Like you have to like partying or drinking or,
right.
And granted, again, like just personal preference, I do like to go out sometimes and have a few drinks or whatever, but you know, it's like I don't want to, if that's what I have to do to like make friends, I feel like I'd rather be alone, honestly.
Yeah. I don't, the whole conforming to like whatever, you
like
know.
I want to go, like if I want to go drinking because I want to go drinking,
right.
You know, I don't want to go drinking because somebody's making me,
or
you know, that's like I have to, like I don't know.
You're not doing the thing because you're trying to impress somebody or trying to fit in. You're doing the thing because you want to do the thing. Yeah. And
I feel like that's the underlying theme with all this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing too is like, you know, just being young, you know, and not understanding. I mean, we're having this conversation now, and there might be people watching that are like in their 60s and they don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, everybody gets this shit through their head at different times, maybe never. And a lot of us don't get it early enough, in a sense, right? Like, you know, I mean, the whole drinking thing is just like the easiest example. I have no idea why I never did that. You know, I say because my mom told me not to, and then, you know, I just fucking decided, okay, I'm not going to. And luckily she didn't push me far enough for me to rebel. You know, it's like that's kind of the way that it happened. And, you know, it's not better or worse or anything like that. It's just kind of how it worked. But like, when you understand why you want to do something, why you should or shouldn't want to do things, that's the fucking thing. Like that's the gold at the end of the rainbow there, in a sense. It's like you're not doing things for other people, you're doing it for yourself. Yeah. You know, and that's just
and I want to like, whatever I do, I want to like help people in some way, whether it's like with the music thing, it's like, oh, like I really like this band, like, you know, whatever, or like, oh, that guy's workouts really help me. They're helping me improve or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Definitely.
But I'm doing it for myself as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, again, goes back to it. You got to have your shit in order. You got to make yourself happy. You got to do all that sort of stuff. And then you can share that with other people and know whatever, lane or route that is.
I think happiness is a lifetime journey, though.
For sure. I mean, it's always a balancing act too, in a lot of senses. Like, it's like you're not going to be like happy eternally. You're going to have ups and downs. But the thing is, like, it's better to have like ups and downs based on like the events and kind of things that like are going on in your life or the things that you're dealing with, the situation, than to just be constantly like just fucking numb to a lot of it, or like, you're going through life like, just how people say you should, right? That whole like 9 to 5, just 40 hours a fucking week, 40 years type thing. I always go to that, but like there's a lot of other ways that you can kind of go through your life and not be, I don't know,
It's
happy
weird,
about
man.
it.
Like, I wish I could go through life sort of like this,
Yeah.
But like a lot of times I feel like I'm going like this.
Yeah.
I'm like working so hard to try to get to that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much too. I felt like that again. I felt like that tremendously.
Where like nothing phases me.
Yeah.
Shit that people say don't bother me. Like all that. Like I'm right here.
Yeah. I think I don't like to fucking say that, maturity type thing, but I honestly do think in this case, like, it's kind of almost just maturity. Like you've obviously progressed so much, and we're always going to continue to progress. But I think there is like a point where the amount of fucks that you give about like other people's opinions gets so low because you're so invested in the other things that are bringing you happiness, that it starts to be like, well, I just almost don't care at all about like the bullshit anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I think that
it's like an afterthought.
Yeah, it's like where you're at, I think
it's like a transition.
Yeah, it's like we're talking right on the cusp of it. And then like probably if we talk in another like, 6 months to a year or whenever, when you're out of school and you're either trying to make it doing your stuff, or you found like a job that's just like to get by type of thing, and then you're focusing on all the shit that makes you happy, like you are going to be exponentially happier, because the thing right now that you have to deal with, unfortunately, or to whatever extent, like the thing you have to deal with, like the big time thing that's taking up a lot of your time, is the shitty thing. But once you're able to move past that, once you're able to pursue the things that you want to pursue and just like control your life a little bit more, and just like get a little older, a little more mature and all that sort of stuff, that is when you honestly, like, it stops being like a roller coaster, and maybe it's a little bit more like hilly. But a lot of times I think what it's going to happen, it's going to be like up, up, up. Oh shit, this is kind of shitty a little bit, but we're going right back up. That type of thing. It's like the stock market almost, in a lot of senses, right? It's like there's always going to be shit in your life. Like, people are going to fucking die, people are going to get sick, like all this stuff, like all these things that you can't control. But like at the end of the day, if you take that stuff that you can control and try to continuously move forward with it, I mean, all I'm saying again is trying to do it from personal experience. It was terrible in college. It got a little bit better as soon as I got out, but then I realized this is kind of getting shitty again, and then I was like, all right, I'm done with this, and then it's moved up. I mean, honestly, like the analogy you made was perfect.
Did you go to college?
I went to the University of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was there for 4 years. Again, same type of thing. Didn't really like it.
Yeah.
Started working. It was okay at first because it was different. I was like, oh fuck, I'm finally out of school. This is great. And then again, just ended up not being the place for me. So it went down a little bit, and then right back up. As soon as you make a change, as soon as you make the next step, right back up. And you're probably gonna have a lot of those in your life. And I think that's what it is. And I think the roller coaster happens when, in one case, when the fucking 5 days are shit. Yeah. And then you go to the weekend and it's like, oh shit, this is terrible. Oh fuck, this is great. Oh shit, what the hell happened? That was only 2 days and this is terrible.
It's like that party thing. It's like Friday, Saturday. Oh, like Friday during the night, and then Saturday morning I feel like shit. Yeah. And then Saturday, I'm feeling good again because I'm partying, and then Sunday feels like shit. Back to the grind again. Yeah. Like, it's just,
I don't know how people live like that. It's tough. So, not something that I wanted to do, but to each their own. I try to.
Yeah, we're not here to judge.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I hate to see it. I think a lot of us hate to see it, but at the same time, though, again, you can only give the information to people. You can't actively make them implement it into their lives.
You just got to focus on what you can control at the end of the day, too. Like we touched upon.
Yeah.
Like, you can't control other people's actions, what they're gonna say, what their opinions are.
Yeah,
it is what it is, man.
for sure. Did you want to talk? Did you have more to talk about specifically on music or anything related to that?
We could talk about like genres. Like, do you?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
That's
genre
an
of
interesting
music?
topic, actually. So this is interesting. I haven't shared this, I think, with anybody yet, but I had this idea to kind of put this out with a couple things. So I have this idea specifically to music. I use music. It actually plays a vital role. Okay, so I never like smoked or drank or anything like that, but like again, like I was in a shitty place, and I was literally using music, I think, as an escape a lot of times, like to just try to listen to it and like.
I do it pretty much every day of my life.
Yeah. Put yourself in a position where, and I don't create music. Like I try to sing badly. I'd like to get better at that. I tried to play the piano for like 5 minutes.
I'm a professional shower singer.
Yeah. I tried to play piano for 5 minutes. That didn't work. But music though, I love. Like I love to consume music, right? And I actually enjoy music that puts you in a certain mood. I love music that tells a story. There's like the thing that I'm kind of getting to is there's like a list of artists that like I basically think that they can't make a bad song. Like me, like certain songs more than others, but like they've just been very impactful in my life, and I really, really love almost their entire discography. So it's like Logic is a huge one. NF fucking got me through all the misery in my life. I don't know if you're familiar with NF, but like that shit is fucking like he's
real.
Yeah, it's real music. It's literally his label, I think. So so NF, Logic, John Bellion,
Heard it, yep.
21 Pilots.
Yep.
And then there's I'm forgetting. I think there's like kind of like
all great artists.
Yeah, kind of like Khalid, but not really. I just like the sound of his music. But those ones specifically, like all of them are. I mean, there's rap in there. There's Logic does all sorts of shit. John Bellion's kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
I just
Pilots is too.
Yeah. I love all of that, and I love more than anything. I think the thing that reigns supreme with all of them is they are real shit. Like they don't try to just be
cookie cutter.
Yeah, they don't try to be poppy all the time. Like yeah, they got pop sounds in there sort of, but like I fell in love when I realized what Logic did with his 3 albums with what is it? The Under Pressure, the Incredible True Story, and then Everybody, like how that was literally a fucking story. Like I was like, whoa, I was mind blown. Yeah. So like I really appreciated that, and I don't know, it just honestly just gives me the feels, those types of things. I feel like I'm forgetting one other really important artist in my life, but I can't remember. So if it comes to me, I'll let you know. But that's the type of stuff that I listen to, and that got me through a lot of really like difficult times because I'd listen to NF and it's like, he's like Perception and then The Search. Like those 2 albums, it's like that's real shit that he's dealing with, and I have no idea what his actual story behind that was, but like it's very difficult to go through that sort of stuff alone. So I feel like I listened to that music and it was like, well, I have other people around me, but like they don't really understand, and I wasn't in a place to verbalize it.
Sometimes it's like you can't even put into words what you're dealing with, and that's what music can do. I actually have this tattoo. I wish I could show it to you, but it's when words fail, music speaks. Yeah. And like that is just it really resonates with me. Yeah. Definitely. Because music does. It can like whatever you're feeling, if you can't like put it into words, like it can really like kind of like help you feel it. If that makes sense. No,
absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Like I said, I mean, 21 Pilots is the same way. They have an immense like impact almost, like them and NF. Like it's everything's just. There's words, like like it's not just like the pop bullshit where it's like cool, like random fucking.
And granted, WAP. I think there is a time and place for those songs, but like, I think we all need some. Real fucking music in our lives.
Too. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at parties or whatever, like atmospheres like that, where it's just like turn up type thing is absolutely like you got to appreciate that too. But when you're trying to get through shit, that is always the way that I kind of looked at music and looked at like genres of music and artists. And I just really appreciated it, and I have a very, and I honestly, I'm glad you brought that up because honestly, that's had a huge impact on my life that I haven't really talked about. Yeah. And like I said, I was kind of planning on talking about it more, but yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah. If people aren't using music like that, actually, I've talked to people before, and it's like, oh, you don't listen to music like that? Like you don't think of music like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. It's like that's one of the main reasons. Like anytime that I feel something.
I think a lot of people do. It's like I think some people are embarrassed to like
Yeah.
really talk about that deep stuff,
Yeah.
or like they just say embarrassed, or like they think it's weird or whatever. They
Yeah.
don't want to be looked at as like weird when
Yeah.
it's not weird. It's
Yeah.
very normal.
Yeah, it's tough. It is time to, if you're in a situation where maybe the other person doesn't fully understand what you mean by that, or like
Right.
how you actually do that.
Mhm.
Like maybe they do it subconsciously or something. I can understand how it would be difficult, but
Yeah.
I think probably a lot of people do that. So
Okay, that's one, like that Tickets to My Downfall album. That is one that is very. It means a lot to me for a lot of reasons, because
Yeah.
first of all, Machine Gun Kelly, he was a rapper,
yeah,
and he takes a big fucking risk, and he releases this like rock / alternative album,
yeah,
like completely just like goes in a different direction with his music.
yeah,
And it's like, that's a big fucking risk, man.
Yeah.
Like, and in the midst, he's releasing this album in the midst of all this just bullshit that we're dealing with COVID and just this election, like everything, man.
Yeah,
And it's like people like have something to like, he's releasing something that people can have something to like feel good about,
Yeah.
have a sense of normality.
definitely.
So, and the songs, if you listen to the album, they do tell like a story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just, like I said, I really appreciate that type of work. I can't create it too. That's like one of the things is like, it's like you almost appreciate things more when you don't know how the actual process works in a sense, or you can't physically do something. That's kind of the way I think about it. But, yeah. So, but yeah. Any other music related things?
I think we covered it.
No, okay. What do you think? Anything else like big? I know we've talked about so much stuff. I'm gonna have trouble writing a description for this because we were like all over the place in a good way.
Yeah.
So
honestly,
many different topics.
Yeah.
But is there anything else? I want to make sure that we kind of hit everything. If there's something else like kind of burning that we didn't feel like we touched on.
Do you think there's anything burning?
Honestly, I think we hit a lot. I think we've ran the gauntlet of a lot of really important topics.
Mhm.
I would love to sit down with you again,
Absolutely.
especially because of the motifs in this episode of like the idea that I really enjoyed the conversation. I loved getting to know you. I liked the journey, appreciated the journey that you've been on, and I know that with your mindset right now, you're going to continue to move forward. So I'm very excited, like we alluded to. I'm very excited to sit down again sometime in the future, shorter, later, whenever, and see like how you progressed, and just like honestly how you like you and a bunch of other people too. Like I said this, like it's interesting to see how people's minds change, how people's situations change, and just how people mature in a way. But just when you have, there's a lot of people that I think don't have a personality that that they want to bring about positive change in life, or really change at all. People are so set in their ways and stuff like that. When you find people like that, it's really encouraging to just follow them on their journey, and when you follow them on your journey, you get inspired, they get inspired, you see the growth together. Absolutely. And that's just how it works.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
I can't wait to come back here and then see if the following that you get.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I again hope that everything trends upward. Maybe we won't be in a garage next time. Maybe we'll be in like a nicer studio, something like that. It's just, I don't know, man. That's what it is. Fueled by progress. That's what we're fucking doing here. So it's a good name, and it's a good mantra to live by. So, if we don't have anything else big, I want to hit you with these last 3 questions. Sure. We've talked about a lot of stuff. I'm sure it kind of always normally the content that we talk about resonates in these last couple questions here, but they are specific, and I think they do kind of tie everything together. First question is, they're kind of tough, and I apologize for throwing them on the spot to every guest, but the first one is, who do you think the 3 biggest influences on your life have been so far? And I don't mean like they could be individuals. They could be like your mom, your dad. They could be indirect individuals, like people, like celebrity type, like whoever the hell. And then they could also be like entities. So like, like if like school or something had it doesn't even have to be good, but just like an impact on you know, that type of thing. So just the three biggest ones, however you want to interpret that.
One would be, there's this fitness influencer named BJ Gador.
Okay.
And a lot of his, again, he's got that like that mentality of like, I'm going to do things my way. I'm not going to do things I'm not going to do it the way people want me to do it.
Yeah.
You know, he says he has a lot of great sayings for life about like, you know, and this like ties into the fitness and stuff like that. If you keep showing up every day, eventually you'll be the last one in the room.
Yeah.
So like, and that's like my motivation when I think about like working out and like on the days where I don't want to do it. It's like, if I keep showing up every day, like I'll be the last one in the room. You know, it's like that MJ type of mentality.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
definitely.
That guy, Gary V for sure.
Yeah.
He just like, he's got this mindset of just like, fuck everybody, fuck everything, you know, fuck the system.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's just like, and like he talks about like things about like, you know, nice guys don't finish last. You know, like that saying, nice guys finish last. He actually says they don't finish last because kindness always wins in the long run. You know, if you're doing things for people to like get something out of it, like later, that's not genuine. That's just not the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think not a lot, but people do that.
Yeah.
And I think people do things nice for people to like, because they want people to see how good they look doing it, and they want something in return.
Definitely.
Which is wrong.
Yeah.
Third one. Think about that one, man.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, it is a tough question. Like these are, I mean, I don't know, like maybe Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, because again, like he's the same type of guy. Like he's just not afraid to like speak his mind. He's not afraid to like deviate from like the norm or anything like that, and like he just does his own thing. Yeah, and he's unapologetically himself.
Absolutely.
So probably those three.
Yeah. No,
and there's many more, but like I have to really think about it.
Yeah, no, like I said, I asked that question honestly from a personal place as well, just because I know that I have a lot of influences on me. It'd be tough to narrow it down to three as well. Absolutely. So it's a hard question, but no,
I like it though. It makes you think.
Yeah, for sure. Those are great influences, man. I'm gonna have to check out the first dude. You have to send me a link to his stuff, but yeah. Second question is, I know it's early on in your life, but to this point, like, and again, probably ties in with everything we talked about. What is your best advice that you would give somebody, maybe somebody younger than you, like somebody starting college or something like that, or like what is your best advice so far? And let me preface it like this, because I just kind of thought about this. If you think about, like, if you could sum up life, like the best way to live a life in like one sentence, right? Whatever you personally think, right? Because it's going to depend on your perspective. I actually kind of just thought about this, where I kind of have that in a document somewhere. And I think as you go through life, it might change a little. You know, it might like maybe you thought about life one way when you're younger, and then when you're older, maybe something different. So I think maybe that is a case, whether it's like you're a younger person or older person. What do you think right now is the best way to live life, or your best advice?
I'll answer that question in a second.
Yeah.
Because it's in my brain right now. The Rock is another big influence.
Okay.
Because he talks a lot about mental health and like depression and stuff like that, how he's went through it. And he's like, you know, he's this big motherfucker. You know? And it's like, you look at him, he's like, oh, that's a tough guy. Nothing, you know, nothing breaks him down, whatever. And it's not the case, you know? And he's like, and just like his workouts, man, like just they really, like, when you watch those, they really get you going. But so to answer your question, I don't want to make it sound cliche or so simple, but like never give up. Yeah. Like just keep going, man. Like, and that's, I've had to tell myself that there are times where I want to quit, throw in the towel, just say fuck it, but just never give up. Yeah.
It's great advice, man. Yeah. That's, you know, like you said, simple, but it's so powerful. So I like it. Everybody would be very smart to heed that. Yeah. Okay, the last one is an easy one. Two tough ones. This one's an easy one. we talked about it. Can't remember if it was on air, off air, or whatever. But what I like to do here is I want to make sure that, again, thank you so much. Really appreciate having you on the show. Thank you for coming. What I want to make sure, though, is I want to make sure that if the person sitting across from me has something that they want to share with the world, something they're working on, I want to make sure that they have an opportunity to share that with our audience, especially as we go here. So I'm going to have all the links to everything in the description of this show, like on YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So they'll be able to go down there and find that. But if you want to kind of like, in right here in this spot, like talk about what you have going on, just, directly.
So the one thing that I have going on directly is that fitness page. It's on Instagram at BMiloFit. No uppercase, no spaces.
Gotcha.
I obviously have my main Instagram page at Brendan_Milo. So that's like just more of like a, I don't know, friends page, or like just, I don't want to say posting fun stuff, but like just whatever. That's really my social medias, honestly.
Yeah.
That's really where I'm mostly
mainly
active.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because just with the fitness page, I don't really do much on my main page, but
yeah, I gotcha.
So
okay. Well, also if you make any other adjustments to like drumming or anything like that, I'll make sure to put that in there. But
there are a couple of drumming videos on my main page.
Gotcha. So. Okay. Well, I'll have the links in there regardless, because I want to make sure, like I said, we try to, anybody that's interested in the conversation, interested in you, interested in fitness or music or anything like that, I want to make sure to send them your way.
Absolutely.
So
appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So but again, with that, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This was a hell of a talk. I am very happy that you came on. I'm very happy. Thank you so much for reaching out. I'm glad that
it's pretty therapeutic, I would say.
Really? Yeah, I had a hell of a time, and like you said, these deep talks I think are very needed by a lot of people. A lot of people in our age bracket, I think, especially. I'm starting to see there's a lot of people that think this way. Maybe like more of under a veil, like they can't get it out there all the time because of whatever the circumstances may be. But hopefully, we can continue to have these types of chats, and I'm excited to see your journey, man. So
Appreciate it, man.
But with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Fueled by Progress with my guest, Brendan Milowicki. Got it? Two in a row. Nice. 2 for 2 on that. Terrible with names. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it as always. And we'll talk to you in the next one.